Remember, it takes a team to help shift the paradigms. Aloha, shifters, friends, multidimensional dreamers from within this holographic matrix. This is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, aka Wolf, welcoming you once again to another exciting, inspirational, educational live broadcast here through ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. Today, being July 12th, we are doing another Paradigm Shift Roundtable broadcast, and we're going to get rolling into things. I'm kind of saying before the broadcast began is that these broadcasts are prepared in such a way that we'll be able to do them regardless of how many people are actively already in them when the start of the broadcast begins. So think of it, and basically the metaphor that I like to think of it is that, regardless of how many passengers are on the train, we still got to get to our destination. So that's why this train is rolling. But nonetheless, you're welcome to jump on board as the train is moving along if you happen to be tuning into this either live on Facebook or live on YouTube as well. And through there, you can sync up by following the links in the video info where it says to join the Hangout. And if you hear any dog noises, that's my dog Dallin, who's in the room right now. But nonetheless, thank you again, everyone, so much for tuning into this. We got some pretty exciting stuff to be able to talk about within this broadcast. And for those of you who are tuned into the last broadcast, you know that we got a bit of a routine that we're doing for the Paradigm Shift Central Roundtable. And so I'll give you guys a little bit of an introduction to that. And that is going to include an introduction and a welcome, a quick individual intros for the other shifters involved, the overall project updates, including news, quick meditation, individual paradigm shift community updates, individual project updates, dream recall sharing, poetry sharing, open discussion practice, branching, closing intentions, and gratitude, and closing meditation. So as we're doing this, again, the invitation is there for you guys to be able to join the Hangout. If you would like to be able to join the Hangout, you just have to have a profile already created on the main website. And I'll post a link for that into the YouTube. But again, like this is the day when we want to be doing a broadcast. It is a new moon. It is a partial eclipse. We've got a lot of energy behind us. And, maybe there might have been a past version of myself that would have just been like, oh man, like no one's joining, no one cares, I'm just gonna give up and cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. Because I've been in that place before, but like with this, it's just like, no, I'm leading by example. I'm doing something that's important to me. I'm broadcasting the message. I'm inviting people to be able to join in. And through that, it creates the momentum needed to be able to help move towards the objectives that are important to me. So again, for those of you on Facebook, for those of you on YouTube, please feel free to share this broadcast and please feel free to join the Hangout, whoever wants to join, by going to live.paradigmshiftcentral.com/join Hangout, and you can follow the links on there. So in the meantime, I'm just going to roll through a bit of the introductions and welcomes, and yeah, place your bets now on when people join. And we do have, I mean, worth mentioning, we do have Amanda and Anna who are in the broadcast. Both of them are just kind of watching at the moment. We were talking a little bit about beforehand, but they are here, they are present, they're in the circle, and you guys are in the circle as well. Those of you who are tuned into this simply by watching on YouTube, by watching on Facebook, by listening to it in the future, you guys are still a part of this. And that's why like I have the conviction to be able to do this, like regardless of how many people are actively in the Hangout. Like obviously we want more people in the Hangout, but again, this train's already rolling. We got objectives to accomplish, and we got some very exciting things to be able to talk about, such as World Free Hugs Day coming up on July 18th, aka my birthday, next Wednesday. And I want to just be able to hype that up a little bit more to be able to invite more people to be able to tune in. So allow me to just multitask in the moment here, as I'm just literally doing the thing where I share this into a bunch of groups on Facebook, while also relaying to you guys a little bit of information as to what this project is, so that you can be more aware of it if you happen to be a little bit new to the project. So as I said, my name is Brendon. I'm the director facilitator for ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. The way how we play this game is by helping document the shift, by helping take part in these interactive broadcasts that we do, by leveling ourselves up through our ongoing awareness, through our ongoing shift in personal consciousness, by being able to tap into our potential. It is also about being able to create physical paradigm shift communities where you live, where anybody lives. And physical paradigm shift shift communities are focused on regular open-minded discussion and meditation circles. And again, through documenting the shift in consciousness, we are creating a platform through the main website to be able to invite people to create quest journals, conscious articles, to share videos, to use the Paradigm Shift Central project as a platform to be able to collectively share our voice. So that is exactly what this broadcast is about. Through this broadcast, I want to invite you to be able to share your voice through this broadcast, to be a part of the discussion, to be a part of the team, to help continue to move the narrative forward. And what is the narrative that we are doing? The narrative is based around personal empowerment. It is based around activating people into their potential. It is based around the resurgence of the modern day light guardian, aka the shifters. And again, shifters are people who are intentionally helping assist with the shift in consciousness. And there are a lot of people who tune into these broadcasts in the future and just on a regular. And thank you again. You know, each time we do these broadcasts, allow these broadcasts to be like spiritual medicine to help boost you, to help remind you that there is this collective team, that there is this ongoing story that you too are a part of in varying degrees of participation. So obviously, you know, you might be listening to this in the future, but consider the opportunity to be able to join into the next live broadcast when we do it, which for the most part, unless the schedule changes, it is on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all you gotta do is create a profile on the main website, and through there you'll get the link to be able to join. So as I could, oh wait, okay. This just in, I've been temporarily blocked from sharing it into groups because I think I just shared it into like 20 groups, and apparently Facebook doesn't let you do that, but it doesn't give you a heads up ahead of time. So looks like my actions are blocked. Looks like the again, the task is in our shared hands. So for anybody who wants to share the original feed of the Facebook on Facebook, please feel free to do that. But again, inviting people to the YouTube as well, and allow me to check into the YouTube to be able to see what's up. And we got some other people also synced in through there. Shout out to, again, Anna. Shout out to David, who are in the live chat. And we got 6 people tuned in on YouTube and about 7 people tuned in on Facebook. So let's keep moving along with things. Shout out again to my dog Dallin. If you guys can hear him, let me know. I think it's okay. He's just here because there's food here, but more so than that, it's because he knows you're here. So he's here for that moral support. Thanks, buddy. Cool, man. All right. Let me just double check one thing here. Audio is running through perfectly through Facebook as I just do what I need to do. Yep. Okay, that's cool. Sweet. Yeah, just you know, doing what I do here up in Paradigm Shift Central Master Control Room, aka my bedroom, where we've been doing these broadcasts. So moving forward with this broadcast, I just want to give you guys a little bit of again, quick individual intros would be the next thing that we are moving into, and then from there we're going to get into project updates. And with that, that's going to be talking a little bit about the World Free Hugs Day event, and then from there we'll get into a meditation, and maybe from there we'll have some more people who are joined into the broadcast. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Maybe this entire thing will just be me, you know, conducting this from here. But again, honestly, that's totally cool with me, guys. I'm in a good mood. I'm pumped. I know what I need to do. And again, what I am doing is creating the container to invite other people to be a part of it. And this is all just practice. You know, this is all just practice. This is practice being able to communicate, to practice being able to talk about the metaphysical ideas that are important to us, to be able to work as a team, to be able to contribute our voice, to be a part of that shared momentum. So I'm always open to feedback and suggestions. If you guys are like, you know, like, hey, Brendon, maybe you should try this, try this, try this. Please feel free to leave that feedback. You know, I want to be able to know how you feel would be the best ways that we can serve the community. So again, these digital sacred circles, they are important. They are a chance for people to connect. They're a chance for people to be a part of community. And for a lot of people, that's really important, you know, especially for people who may not have that physical community where they are. It's a great opportunity to be a part of something that's very important, something that's rooting back to the essence of what it means to be tribal, the essence of what it means to be able to take care of one another and support each other. And again, be mirrors for each other's growth. So much love to everybody tuned in on Facebook. I'll just give a quick shout out to there. And if you guys want to leave some comments, where are you guys tuned in from? I'm always interested to hear that. So shout out to Craig. Again, shout out to Anna, who's literally on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to George. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to David. Shout out to Steve. And shout out to Sonia. Hey, Sonia, how's it going? Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. Cool, guys. Okay, so Quick individual intros. This isn't totally necessary since, again, you know, like, doing this is, you know, just roll. Whoa, okay. Glitch in the Matrix. Okay, we're good. Sweet. Okay, we do got another player in the game. So it looks like Jesse has joined. So thank you, Jesse, for tuning in. We'll get Jesse to jump in with an intro in the next couple minutes. And yeah, no, intentions out there. For more people who want to join in, again, all you have to do is have your profile on the main website. And I'm going to post a link into the live chat on Facebook, so live.paradigmshiftcentral.com/join hangout. But you just have to be logged into the website to be able to do that, and then you get the link to the Google Hangout. So, individual intros. My name is Brendon, aka Skull Babylon, aka Wolf, aka Wolf Shield, and Wolf Shield is my middle name for those of you who are curious. And I reside in London, Ontario, Canada, and I am the admin for Paradigm Shift London, Ontario. And we started Paradigm Shift London way back in the day. That was the very first Paradigm Shift community that began. And while I was like in school for media and everything like that, you know, I was just reflecting on how can I help change the world. And through using my skills of broadcasting and being able to make cool videos, I wanted to be able to put out that vibration to be able to not only build community, but to encourage other people to create community, to not only create conscious media, but to encourage other people to create conscious media. So I've been really dedicated towards the idea of being a neo-gonzo journalist from the future. That's what you can find on my YouTube channel, Skull Babylon. And basically the idea behind that is using my skills as a videographer, as a documentarian, to be able to document not only my own experience, but also the collective shift in consciousness by making videos, by going to festivals, by filming rallies, by getting interviews with people. And through this, you know, it's created this archive, it's created this collective timeline, which again, you can all find through the Paradigm Shift Central website that's gone back all the way back to like 2009. So we've almost been doing this for like close to a decade. And again, you know, what is the end game? The end game is to continue to plant seeds that will continue to sprout into generations to come. It will continue to help people take those actions in their community that will make a difference where they are, to encourage people to do things like free hugs and hacking the matrix with love are some of the big things that I talk about. So that's just a little bit about me. And again, you know, why I'm here. I am here because this is my self-created destiny, because this is me answering my question of how can I help make a difference. This is me choosing to take action, and again, inviting and creating a space where others can do the same as well. And on the side, for those of you who may not be aware, I'm also a real world superhero, I guess is the right term that we can use. And that's through me being Mystic Spider-Man, which again, you know, I go out there and I do free hugs a lot. And when I'm out there doing free hugs, sometimes I dress up as Spider-Man, my own version of Spider-Man called Mystic Spider-Man, and then I'll do free hugs and give out shift buttons. And again, the shift buttons have the Paradigm Shift Central website on the rim, so these are super powerful. And of course, you can get those through the Team Patreon, and huge shout out to the Team Patreon supporters. You guys can follow the links to add your support, get your Shifter Booster Kit. And yeah, that's part of what I do. Literally like a real world Jedi slash superhero slash, you know, leader, doing what I can to be able to help other people activate the leader within themselves. So if you're listening to this broadcast, if you're new, if you're old, thank you so much for being a part of this. Let us continue to ripple these vibrations out. Let us, you know, step forward, planting those seeds towards those deeper metaphysical aspects of remembrance. And again, you know, what is the objective here? The other objective, because again, you know, there's kind of like, there's layers to this, right? And I'll just talk here, and I'll pass it off to Jesse in a second, and Amanda and Anna, if you guys want to say anything too, you guys are more than welcome to as well. Again, you know, like what are part of the objectives? Part of the objectives are pointing people towards the rabbit hole, are inviting them to explore deeper down the rabbit hole in their own ways, are being able to plant those conscious seeds to help people awaken to their own divinity, are helping people understand that this reality is not as cut and dry, that this reality is actually an extension of the dream, so to speak. You know, maybe that means something different to you. And more so than anything, it's about being able to tap into our own potential. Once you kind of realize that this reality is very dreamlike, you realize that we are the dreamers, and therefore what we think, we create. As we think, so shall we become. And therefore, if you want to create community, you can create community. If you want to do free hugs, you can do free hugs. If you want to send out a vibration that's going to make a difference in this world, you can do that. And so there's lots of this reality. It's about that personal awareness. It's about being awareness of subtle energies. It's about being awareness of our existence beyond this linear moment, beyond this physical body. It's awakening into our cosmic divinity, so to speak. And not only that, but it's exploring what these ideas mean to us. And it's being able to practice having these discussions, practice sharing wisdom, practice sharing perspectives, so that we can all continue to level up collectively within the game. So again, moving forward, today is the new moon eclipse, new moon partial eclipse. What does that mean? Today is a lot to do with being able to set forth, like to move forward with our intentions. So maybe we've already had intentions set. Like now is the time to like step forward into those convictions. Jupiter just went direct. That is like a very powerful time to be able to like to harvest the potent energy that the universe has readily available for you. So it is a great time to, again, like move forward with projects. It is a great time to reap those rewards. It is a great time to step into your empowerment. It is a great time to be able to move forward knowing that you have this like wave of cosmic energy that is like something you can ride like a wave, you know, literally like a wave. So again, starting projects, you know, starting relationships, starting your own, not even just starting, but continuing your own journey of self-discovery. There's a lot of cosmic power right now. And again, if you're aware of it, the invitation is there for you to be able to sync up into it. So again, that's exactly what I'm doing, right? Like, that's exactly why I'm here, because I'm doing these broadcasts because like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is going to make a difference and you're a part of it. And together we are making a difference. And again, you know, like I'm excited to be able to talk about the World Free Hugs Day. We'll do that in the next couple of minutes. So again, thank you so much for listening. Let's pass the talking stick around. I just want to be able to check in. I have your mics unmuted, but Amanda and Anna, if either of you guys want to take the talking stick, just unmute your microphones. I'll see that you've unmuted it, and then I'll pull your microphone up, and then you can introduce yourself if you would like to. Again, whatever you're comfortable with. So it looks like Amanda would like to introduce themselves. So let me just get the audio set up here. And Amanda, I'm just going to pull up your microphone. And Amanda, can you just say hi real quick? Just make sure your microphone's good.
Hello.
Yep, cool. Okay, cool. That's coming through. Awesome. All right. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for being here. You're in the broadcast last week. Welcome back. And again, you can just say a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what brings you to this broadcast, what brings you to the Paradigm Shift Central project. And then a little bit further, we'll get into the other aspects of, you know, like our individual projects and intentions and things like that. So, Amanda, welcome back. And passing the talking stick right over to you. Go right ahead.
Coolio. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make it for the whole broadcast again, but here I am again. Yeah, I, like you said, been riding the wave. This is, you know, pretty amazing. It feels good. I'm Amanda. I'm from Oregon. Got a couple of kids, and we're about ready to move into an Airstream onto some property and just really getting back in touch with nature. And I'm going to be doing a lot of meditations and things like that. And, you know, I just want to check in while I can. And this is something that I've been a supporter of for many years and haven't really stepped up into the limelight until recently. But yeah, here I am. And I'll share more about what's going on in the next segment if I have time. And thanks for giving me your attention. Bye.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you so much, Amanda, for adding your voice to the circle. And yeah, no, again, you know, it's great that we have so many people here from all over the world, from all different aspects of their journey. We even got dogs here. I just showed Dallin. Dallin, say hi. There he is. He's in the bottom of your screen now. Hi, Dallin. Hey, buddy. He's just like, put me on, coach. Let me tell him the secrets of the universe. What would Dallin say? Anyways, maybe we'll get to that. Dallin would say, I want everyone to like each other. I want everyone to just sniff each other's butts. That's what the life is all about. So cool. Okay, let's pass the talking stick around. Just gonna check in. Anna, if you would like to say anything, you can just unmute your microphone and we'll pass over to you. So Anna's there. So Anna, gonna pull up your microphone. Give me 1 second here. Welcome back to the circle. And Anna, go right ahead when you're ready.
Hi, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm Anna, aka Psy Sister. I think everyone's getting used to that now. And I'm from Queensland, Australia. And I am here because it is awesome. What more can I say? I love the freedom of, being able to share things with each other and encourage each other. And that's what it's all about, eh? Really. I did want to say, though, how cool is it that the last card that you pulled was the Wheel of Fortune card, which is associated with Jupiter. I just thought that was a really cool sync there. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That the Wheel of Fortune is associated with Jupiter, and it was Jupiter direct on that day that we got it. So that was pretty interesting. So yeah, cool, sweet.
I love that sync.
All right, and anything else that you would like to add in this moment?
No, I'm pretty good at
Cool.
the moment. Thanks for letting me speak.
Cool, perfect, awesome. Thank you for being here and being a part of the team and the circle. Cool. All right. Cool. And yeah, again, like that was a cool thing for those of you who hadn't yet. On my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Skull Babylon, you can go and you can see the weekly tarot card draws that we've been doing. And this week's draw was Wheel of Fortune, which is a lot to do with like manifesting our own destiny. And it was also the card is kind of like an aspect. It has aspects of Jupiter to it. And yeah, that was like on the day that Jupiter went direct. And again, but when I say Jupiter went direct, that's just like relative to the idea that Jupiter was previously in retrograde. But again, like all of these, there's no like bad or good astrological alignments. They're all just kind of like providing different opportunities and different lessons. So now that it is direct, it's just kind of like the universe is just saying like, hey, remember all those things that you said you were going to do? Now is a great time to do them. So we're going to pass over to Jesse in a second, and then I just got to stand up and let my dog out of the room. Oh, wait, no, he came back. He remembered there's still food here. He just gives me this look. All right, Jesse, unmute your microphone if you're there, and I'll pull up your microphone in a second, and we'll get you to just do a quick introduction, and then from there we'll go into a little bit of the project news, and then from there we'll go into meditation. So just pulling up Jesse's microphone here. So Jesse, do you want to just do a mic check real quick?
Hello.
Hey, dude. All right. Okay, Jesse, passing the talking stick over to you, and welcome back, dude. Go right ahead.
Thanks. What's up? Jesse. I was on the last broadcast. This is my third one. And I'm a little more, used to the waters. Yeah. And it's nice to have a weekly thing to do. You know what I mean? Like a weekly thing every Thursday. My lifestyle hasn't changed much since the last week. But yeah, not much news to tell. All the news is on the internet, so I don't have much to say about that. But I'm doing pretty good. I recently had gallbladder stones in my stool, which is a good sign. That means I flushed them out, and I never knew I had them. But to cleanse the liver is a very healthy thing, right? So that's a positive thing for me. I wish I could get out more into nature. I'm stuck in city suburban life, which has its ups and downs. So I'm cool with that. It just would be nice to really refresh the mind in some very natural settings. Because don't you ever feel like in the city you're constantly watched, like 24/7, and it doesn't end, like it doesn't stop, literally. And maybe it, maybe you can't just get out of that right away. I accept it for what it is, but we'll see what life has to offer. I'm sure there's a good balance between the two in this lifetime for each and every one of us. Yeah, so
Totally,
hello
man.
everybody, and have a good night.
Awesome, man.
Thanks, Brendon.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for being here again. Cool. All right. Okay, so again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this, for being a part of this. If you guys can, again, you know, just because you guys are part of the technical crew on this, for those of you in the live chats, just drop an 1111 if you guys can hear me okay, and that is a just a great just helping me, you know, relay the communication back and forth, make sure that you guys can hear me good. Pretty sure it's all good, but I just want to be able to make sure from you guys. And also, leave a little comment, either for those of you on YouTube or on Facebook, of your current location. Where are you guys currently tuning in from? That is always an awesome thing to be able to learn more about. And then, hey, if you see somebody who happens to be in your location, maybe you can send them a message and see if they might want to sync up, because that is a big part of how this project works, is by being able to use the power of the internet to be able to collectively connect with people wherever we are. So awesome. All right. Thank you again, everyone. We're going to keep moving along with our itinerary, and next in the itinerary is some project update news, and then from there we're going to get into a little bit of a quick meditation, and then from there we're going to get into individual paradigm shift community updates, and then individual project updates. So that would be like things that we're working on, and then some dream recall sharing, some poetry sharing, and then some open discussion practice. So, and Dallin, watch where your foot is. You're getting very close to that power bar switch. Sometimes he likes to turn it off. So if we suddenly go dark, that just means Dallin hit the power bar, but should be good. So cool. All right. Again, let me just take a breath here. Reminder to breathe. It's kind of hot in my room, so. News updates. Big news off the top. The event that I've created, you would have heard me mention it last broadcast. Now it is activated. I've made a video for it. I've made an event on Facebook for it. Is the World Free Hugs Day event. I'm hesitant to say it's the first official World Free Hugs Day. Instead, I'm just saying it's a World Free Hugs Day, but it very well may be kind of the world's first free hug day that is being implemented on some sort of actualized scale. I want to give it a quick shout out because I was running a hashtag search on it, and there's a group of people doing free hugs in Nepal. No, was it Nepal? Nepal, Italy? Is Nepal, Italy a place? Is that the same place? I believe so. But they were doing free hugs there, and I saw they were using the hashtag World Free Hugs, and I was like, yes, like somebody else has already tried this. So it's like, perfect. So, World Free Hugs Day. Activating this as an event taking place on my birthday. My birthday is July 18th. That's the day the event is. And again, you know, with my birthday being an actual thing, obviously, I want to be able to create something that will be something that we can share together in the celebration. And so part of the way how we're doing this is not only encouraging people to go out there and to do free hugs, but to also be able to document it if they feel comfortable in doing that, and to use the hashtag World Free Hugs when they're posting. You can also join the event join the event on Facebook, and you can post your images in there. And you can find that if you go to on paradigmshiftcentral.com, check under Central News, and you'll see the posting for World Free Hug Day, and then that has a link to the Facebook page. You can also go to my YouTube channel, and you can see the video that I posted there, which is basically just a call to action. And so again, the World Free Hugs Day, it's as simple as it sounds, but it's a great way to be able to just give that little bit of extra intention, that little bit of extra attention, to be able to help people move forward, knowing that they are not alone, knowing that they have the shared collective of a community. Because sometimes, you know, like when it comes to free hugs, and I've experienced this too, there's a bit of like, there's something you have to conquer inside of you when you're thinking about going out and doing free hugs. It's just kind of, you know, this like voice in your head that's just like, oh, like people will think I'm weird, or oh, you know, people will look at me funny, or maybe I won't get any hugs, or, you know, I shouldn't bother, it's pointless and stuff like that, or I'm scared. You know, that's a legitimate feeling too, because it's kind of putting yourself in this vulnerable space. But it's something that we can conquer. It's something that we can move through, step into, and to step into that choice of doing free hugs, and to notice and experience how the universe will respond to that act of courage. So doing free hugs literally is an act of courage. It is to be able to kind of go against the norm. So I want to be able to even just check in with people in the live chat, you know, just leave a comment if you're planning on like taking part in the World Free Hugs Day. And again, you know, like, the concept behind it is to be able to do free hugs, but then to continue to use it as a catalyst for days beyond that. That's pretty obvious. Like, obviously we're not just going to do free hugs on one day and then stop. Like, Free Hugs Day, World Free Hugs Day is technically on a Wednesday. So I mean, you know, it makes a lot of sense to do free hugs oftentimes on Fridays or Saturdays, you know, when there's community events taking place, if there's festivals going on, if there's a farmer's market, you know, but doing it on Wednesday can still be totally possible, especially if you're in like a city. You can go down to your downtown core, see what happens if you just commit even like 15 minutes. Start off with just like 10 minutes of standing in one spot with a free hug sign and see what happens. And that's really all it takes. And the universe will kind of play things out beyond just like you making that choice, and the synchronicities will unfold, and you'll begin to notice people syncing up with you in that moment. So shout out to just gonna give a shout out to David, who is commenting in YouTube, who is saying that they are planning on participating in the Free Hugs Day, and it will be the first day that they do it. So David, thank you, huge shout out to you for being involved with that. Much love. And so again, you know, like with the free hugs, I'll just give you guys some tips and tricks, you know, some basic ways to do free hugs. Because believe me, there are different ways to do free hugs. And believe it or not, there are wrong ways to do free hugs. And so in terms of the rights and wrong ways, in terms of how you do free hugs, the best way that I can recommend it, not even the best way, one way that I can recommend it that works well for me is to stand in one location and let people come to you. So you find a good location. That can be a street corner that's a busy intersection. That can be like near the entrance of a park. It can be near the side of a road. Sometimes you can even do it so that you have a wall to your back. If you're feeling a little uncomfortable and you don't like being out in the open, do it so that you position yourself so that you can control your line of sight, so that you have a wall to your back and people are only coming at you from like 180-degree angle opposed to a 360 degree. And then if you stand there with the sign, feel out that position, move if you feel you want to, and then you let people come to you. Now, the big thing with free hugs is that it's all about consent. And so when I say there's a wrong way to do free hugs, the wrong way to do free hugs would be to like have a sign, someone walks past, they look at you and they're just like thinking about it, and then you like follow them and you're just like, hey man, like come on, like get a hug, like don't run away from me, man, like come on, you know you want it, man, and you like chase them or something like that. Like that can make them feel very uncomfortable, obviously, and again, it's not necessary. So, and I'm saying this because I've seen people do that. Usually it comes from, I mean, it can come from anyone, but I've seen like people where like I've done free hugs and then I'll give out other free hug signs, and sometimes I'll have to talk to people and just give them that little tip that I gave you to just say, you know, like let people come to you. It's cool, man. Like let people come to you, because you'll see some people, they get really excited about it and they bring in their own energy, and then they can kind of like sometimes be a little bit too much in your face for some people, and they walk by and they're just like, dude, like, you know, they'll like jump in front of them, and it's just like, no man, like, you know, just like let people come to you, just kind of hold that bubble, they will come to you. And even if they don't, you know, because even if they don't give you a free hug, they're still going to see you, and that's still going to leave an impression. It's still going to make a difference in that way. So again, it's all about consent. It's all about inviting people into that moment without having to project or force anything on them in that idea. So another way to do free hugs is, you know, walking around. And if anybody happens to be like in, I love the idea of kind of like doing free hugs in like a businessy area. So, I mean, again, you can literally walk down the street while doing free hugs. It's still an equally valid tactic as standing in one spot. Standing in one spot is just kind of like a good way to do it, but if you're walking down a street, that's another good way to do it. Be mindful of where you're doing it. If you're doing it on private property, they may have they may ask you to leave if it's something where they feel that it's like considered soliciting. So for example, on on like in a mall or on like a university campus, if you're not a student, sometimes the security has the right to be able to say like, you know, what you're doing is considered soliciting, therefore leave, regardless of whether or not it's free hugs. Like if you were just holding a sign that just said like anything and you were walking through a mall, that would still be considered soliciting. So don't take it too personally if they ask you to leave, but just be aware of where you're doing it. So you try to not necessarily always avoid those places, but just be mindful if you are in a place that may be considered soliciting. For example, like I've done free hugs on the university near where I live, Western Ontario, and I'm an alumni there for one thing. But when I do free hugs there, I have to be like ninja about it. And so what I do, because again, there's so many different ways to do free hugs, and I want you guys to get creative with it. Another way that I do free hugs when I'm there is I literally sit down and do crystal wire wrapping, and I put the free hug sign on the ground. And so it's next to me. And then I have some like crystals laid out in front of me and some art laid out in front of me and some shift buttons laid out in front of me. And then people still see the sign, and then they'll walk up and be like, yo, man, like free hugs. And I'll be like, yeah, man. And then I stand up and I give them a hug. So that's another way to do it. So again, you can get creative. You can like sit down and do art while doing free hugs if that's one way you want to do it. You can even get creative again, you know, like on the weekend, I was doing a similar tactic where I was doing free tarot readings, free tarot card readings. So I had my free hug sign, and on the back, I had it just written free tarot card reading. So again, you can kind of like, you can combine it. You can get creative with it. You can kind of bring your own flair into doing free hugs. The idea behind doing free hugs is, again, to be able to inject that code into the matrix, to be able to allow people to see something that they don't normally see, to be able to create those moments of meaningful connection is really like the big part about it. You know, when you have someone who comes up to you and they give you a hug, that may be so important to them. That may be incredibly like meaningful. Some people, you know, the majority of people, they don't get the physical contact in a regular basis, you know, and if they're like disconnected from family or they don't have a lot of friends, and human physical contact is such an important thing. It really is like this incredible, valuable medicine. And so we want to be able to, again, you know, create the opportunity where people can receive that, and you are putting yourself in this vulnerable position, but at the same time there's strength in that, and it's acknowledging that, and it's acknowledging the fact that, like, yeah, you know, you're putting forth yourself with an element of trust, and you're not only inviting people to trust you, but you're asking people to trust you as well, and you're trusting them as well. So like sometimes, yeah, like free hugs can get like a little bit, like, has a variety of emotions that it can bring up. But if you feel yourself in a place where, you know, just like you're acknowledging that you're vulnerable, you can own that. You can own that vulnerability, and that actually becomes your superpower. That actually becomes your strength, because you're just like, yeah, you know, like I'm standing here, I'm inviting people into my personal space, but I'm doing it through my own choice. I'm doing it through my own empowerment. There is no accidents here. And then other people see that, and then other people have the opportunity to be able to meet you halfway. And so again, you know, like free hugs for kids is a very powerful thing too. And it's funny when the kids do it, because they usually get it. Like they usually get it pretty fast, and they're just like, yo, like this makes sense. And so doing free hugs with kids is a very exciting way, because you'll see their energy that they bring into it. And people really love that when they see little kids doing free hugs, and somehow it makes more sense. You know, if someone's walking by and they'll see like a grown adult doing free hugs, they might raise an eyebrow. If they see a young kid with a sign, they'll be like, oh my God, that's the most adorable thing in the world, right? So again, you know, having done free hugs for X number of years, there's a lot of different, like, you know, skills that I've kind of acquired from it. And another thing that you can do is to be able to bring extra free hug signs. So you can literally create like a love explosion. A love bomb is not really the term I would use first and foremost, but you create a love ripple effect where you literally bring extra signs. And again, you know, if you haven't seen my videos on YouTube, check them out, because like I show you me doing this. I've done this plenty of times. But to show how it's possible, you can start off with one person, and then as people come up, you can start giving them signs. You know, you might talk to them for a little bit, and then you can invite them to stand in one spot with you, or maybe they'll wander away on their own. So, for example, on the weekend, I was doing free hugs at a place called Sunfest, which is like this annual festival that happens here in London, Ontario, Canada. It's like a music and arts festival. It's inside the park, lots of vendors. And I was doing free hugs as Mystic Spider-Man. And so like using the Mystic Spider-Man persona, just like kind of getting out there. A lot of people just like, oh my God, Spider-Man. I'm like, hey guys, like remember the true power is the power of the heart. You know, that's literally what I tell them, right? And then giving out other free hug signs to people who were generally interested. And then like they would take them. And so there's a little bit of footage of that on my Instagram, I think. Yeah, if you guys aren't on my Instagram, be sure to go to my Instagram, because there's stuff that's exclusive just to there, and that's at instagram.com/Mystic Spider-Man. So again, you know, like doing free hugs, you can start by yourself. And again, you know, why am I telling all this? I'm giving you some information to help give you some foresight as to like how to, you know, take those steps necessary to do free hugs on Free Hugs Day and beyond. So you can do free hugs by yourself. You can do free hugs with a team. So you can start off like just literally go downtown by yourself, and see what happens. Or you can plan it with friends and say like, hey, let's walk around downtown together, and you can see what happens. Whatever choice you make, the universe is going to be able to use that to be able to bring people to you. So it's kind of like this idea that through doing free hugs, you're literally experiencing and enacting the awareness of synchronicity. So when you set out that intention, when you set out that vibration, certain people are going to run into you at the right place at the right time. And that in itself is the magic. And then again, you use the free hugs to be able to create conversation if it's relative in the moment. Because some people may ask you, why are you doing this? And you can say, you know, it's to be able to help make a difference in the world, to be able to help spread compassion. You can also take it apart, start a step further. You can also say, you know, like, oh, this is a part of a bigger project me and some friends are doing called Paradigm Shift Central.com. You know, you can tell them about it. And of course, if you have the buttons on you, if you have the shift buttons on you, then you can even use the shift buttons to what I explain as upgrading your hugs to Hugs 2.0. So when you do a free hug, that's awesome. That's great. Like that in itself is beautiful. When you do free hugs with shift buttons, as many of you have heard me talk about before, you can give someone a shift button. You can literally say like, here, you pass the test or something along those lines, or just even say to them, here, would you guys like to take a magic button with you on your journey? That's like a great way of saying it too. And then people light up. There's like, oh my God, like, yes, this is awesome. I would love to take a button with me. And then you can say to them, there's a website on the button. It's part of a bigger project. Please feel free to check it out. So again, you may not have buttons with you for Free Hugs Day coming up, but by signing up to the team Patreon, you can get your Shifter Booster Kit. You can get your free hug signs laminated. You can get your shift buttons, and then again, keep those on you. Those become incredibly valuable tools. So doing it with the shift buttons is just the technique that I've developed over the years that really helps accelerate the effectiveness of doing free hugs. Free hugs are awesome. Doing them with shift buttons is like extra potent, and it just accelerates the way in which people can connect, and it accelerates the impressions that are made. It leaves a more lasting impression. You know, like someone will go home and be like, yeah, that's awesome, I got a hug today from the stranger. But they can also go home and say, yeah, I got a hug this day from a stranger and I got a button. Maybe I should check out the website. They go to the website, log in, boom. They're tuned into this broadcast. They're tuned into next week. They get involved with the project, and they continue to ripple that inspiration with them further. Another aspect of free hugs, again, you know, just going over the basics, and then we'll move on to just like some other basic news, and then we'll get into our meditation. Is using free hugs as a catalyst to create a physical paradigm shift community where you are. So in combination with the shift buttons or not, you can even create little pamphlets or create, like, you know, just verbal instructions to be able to invite people to your local paradigm shift community. So again, you know, these are tactics. These are things that you guys can do. They're simple. They're effective. Use them. Take action with them. They are tools. They are formulas to be able to help accelerate the shift where you are. And so when someone comes up and hugs you, you can say, you know, might have a little bit of conversation and then gauge it, feel it out. And if it makes sense to you in the moment, you can be like, hey, if you're interested, once a week, we have these meetup groups called Paradigm Shift such and such. For me, it would be Paradigm Shift London. So for other people, it would be Paradigm Shift your location. And then through there, you know, you just invite them to be able to come out to the local Paradigm Shift meetup group that you have. It creates another opportunity for them to connect with the opportunity of being with community. And so you can even direct them to the local Facebook page that you have. So again, you can say, like, you know, like, look up Paradigm Shift Chicago on Facebook, look up Paradigm Shift Texas on Facebook, look up Paradigm Shift, you know, just like Nebraska on Facebook. There's no Paradigm Shift Nebraska that I know of. Not yet. Maybe you're starting it. So, and again, you know, we want people to create those physical paradigm shift communities where they are. So, yeah, if you guys do have any questions about the free hugs, please feel free to let me know. But other than that, that's really the basics of it. And so again, as you do free hugs on Free Hugs Day and beyond, use the hashtag World Free Hugs Day, either posting it on Facebook or Instagram. Make sure your post is public so that I can see it. And then I'll be able to incorporate that into like a little montage video that we'll be creating about the Free Hugs Day event. So go to the event. I'm going to post the, pull it up as I do this. I'm going to pull up the event on Facebook to be able to give you guys the link so that you can invite others to join. And that's a great way to do that. I just got to scroll down a bit as I do this. Go Facebook, go. But nonetheless, please feel free to leave some comments if you guys are taking part in free hugs. Let me know where you're taking part in them. Again, you know, share this video, let other people know that this is happening. And this will just be, you know, one of many more synchronized events that we'll be able to do in the future as well. I want to be able to get you guys doing like some like synchronized like public meditation events would be something I want to do as well. All right, so did I post that? Is the Facebook chat working? Did that work? Oh, people are just like asking questions about other stuff in the chat. Cool. All right. So yeah, okay, so that's basically it for the Free Hugs Day. So again, July 18th, my birthday, give me the best present ever by going out there and spreading the love, by going out there and doing free hugs. And there's a template for the sign that you can find through the YouTube. I'll pass. Let me just see here if I can edit this. I'll post a link afterwards. But again, go into the YouTube video and you'll be able to see the link for the free hug sign that you can download as well. And again, you know, you can do that, or you can just make your own free hug sign. It's super easy in that sense. So here, I'll post the link to that into the Facebook chat so that you guys can have it on the go. Sweet. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so we got 5 people tuned in on Facebook, 9 people tuned in on YouTube. Let's get into our closing, or not closing, our like mid-broadcast meditation in the next little moment. Other news and updates, not too much that I want to mention. I do want to, honestly guys, this project, like, there are challenges, that's expected, and again, you know, part of what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to help move things forward with helping other people create quest journals for the Paradigm Shift Central website. In the coming future, I actually want to be able to like help focus more direction towards encouraging people on how to create their own quest journals. So I might do like a little like quest journal creation course. I want to do a tutorial video for one thing, but I was thinking about creating like a little like event on Facebook where we could do like live broadcasts and have like a little like classroom discussion to get like a small group of people creating quest journals, and then from there we'll have a small group who can lead by example to be able to help create quest journals on the main website. If that's something you're interested in, please feel free to let me know. But again, like, these weeks are so busy. These weeks seem so short sometimes that it's hard to pack everything in. But you guys help this project a lot simply by staying tuned in, by receiving the emails that I send out through the profiles on the main website, by following my Instagram feed, Mystic Spider-Man, by following me on Facebook, and by sharing things. That's a huge thing, because like honestly, like the way social media works these days, it's really weird, man. Like I'll create a video or I'll create a post and then I have to spend like, you know, like a good amount of time just trying to get it out there. And so again, anytime that you guys see a post, please feel free to be able to help share it. Another thing, you know, for those of you who are paying attention, you would have heard me talking about last broadcast how on Wednesdays we're trying to get into the habit of doing Paradigm Shift Central News, which is like a 1-hour broadcast where we feature people's quest journals and videos, and it's different from Roundtable, and we have like a special guest caller in near the end of the show. And that didn't happen this week because I was working on the free hugs video, so that was like my priority there in the moment. But I do still want to get more into doing the Paradigm Shift Central News in the future, so stay tuned for that. Again, it's just, there's a lot to do on this project, and you know, saying this to myself, I know that I'm doing my best. I'm continuously getting better. There's more that I'm learning, and your guys' support helps make a big difference within this project. And again, huge shout out to the Patreon supporters. You guys like allow me to keep focusing on this. And again, if you're just like, yes, Brendon, kick some butt, keep going out there, do things on camera and off camera, go out there and do Mystic Spider-Man stuff, that's what we want you to do, because we know it's making a difference. Support on Patreon. That's a huge way to be able to do that. Here, Dallin, have some bread. Go get it, boy. Cool. Okay, other news and stuff, we'll if anything comes up, I'll let you know. But other than that, like the World Free Hugs Day, that was the big thing, so we covered that. And yeah, again, I want to be able to get, just responding to Anna's question and stuff like that, yeah, I want to be able to get more into helping you guys create quest journals, because again, you know, there's a lot of different ways you can think of the Paradigm Shift Central project. You can think of it as like a company, as like a business. You can think of it as, you know, a game. You can think of it as like a school. And so part of my job is to be able to lead, is to be able to instruct, is to be able to be a mentor. There's different forms of leadership. There's many different elements as to how to be a leader. And so by teaching you guys how to create quest journals is something that I'm still very passionate to be able to do. But My goodness, if someone can figure out how to add an extra day to the week, that would be greatly appreciated. Here, Dallin. More bread. Go get it, boy. Eating avocado with toast. What a surprise. Alright, give me 1 second here, guys. And then we're going to get into our meditation. Alright. Cool. So again, if you guys are tuned into this on Facebook or anything like that, or YouTube, or in the future, please feel free to share this with your friends. Okay, David was just asking, can you explain the purpose of quest journals briefly? Absolutely, David. I'll just do that real quick. Quest journals are blogs through the main Paradigm Shift Central website. So the intention behind them is to use the quest journals as a platform for you to practice documenting the shift in consciousness from your perspective. So, no, Dallin, he's going to keep coming back for it because I keep giving it to him. So, quest journals can be synchronicity reports. They can be dream logs. They can be reflections. They can be intentions. They're about being able to practice documenting. That is really the main thing about it. They can also be videos. They can literally be like a raw video of you talking. And in addition to them just being like written format and stuff like that, is also about creating presentable media. So a quest journal wouldn't just be like 3 sentences and then you post it. It would be like something a little bit more thought out. It would be it would be something that you create. So thinking of quest journals as a piece of art, in that sense, not something that you're creating to impress other people. You can do it with that intention, but you're also doing it for your own purpose of being able to level up. So if there's like an event going on and you're just like, hey, you know, I want to be able to document this, take a couple pictures, and then afterwards write about what that experience was for you. If there was a crazy synchronicity you had that day, go home, write about it, what it means to you. The reason why these quest journals are important is because I feel that the way social media is changing now, people aren't documenting, they aren't journaling things quite in the same way as to how they used to. Meaning that most people will just do like a very quick, you know, image on Instagram with like a small caption, and then it'll just kind of be like something they can put up in like 1 minute, you know, it's just boom. Some people will do the longer things on Facebook and stuff like that, but it's not always like very personal and stuff. So quest journals are kind of going back to the root of why journaling matters and what the benefits are from it. To be able to document your experience, to be able to create an external like hard drive file for what it is that you were doing at that time. And again, in doing that, it creates it helps others. It helps others see your story, and it helps others on their journey as well. It helps invite others to be able to share their story as well. And again, you know, it's about leveling up as an artist in that sense. So if there's any other questions about quest journals, please feel free to let me know. And yeah, again, you know, like I haven't officially posted a quest journal on the main website in a while because I gotta like tailor some back-end stuff, but I've been doing a lot of stuff like through documenting and everything like that, just through my YouTube videos and everything. So but yeah, like, you know, the journalistic approach would be the intention behind it, you know. And again, what happens when more and more of us become those conscious journalists for the shift in consciousness? That becomes a very powerful tool to have in your repertoire when you're like out there and suddenly you're a part of like an awesome event. Maybe you're at like a protest or a rally, you know, and you can document that, and we want to use the project to be able to help share that. Again, it's like we're doing the best we can, guys. It's just the internet is so weird these days. And so like rather than depending on first of all, download the mobile app. I'll just mention that on the side. If you haven't yet, download the Paradigm Shift Central mobile app. That's at live.paradigmshiftcentral.com/mobile app, and you can get it for Android and iOS. If you download that in the future, that is where you'll get like the notifications for new quest journals and new videos as they go up. So sharing things through Facebook and Instagram is not reliable, so don't expect that you'll see everything through there, because it just doesn't work that way anymore. But create your profile on the main website, download the mobile app, and through there you'll get stuff, as well as manually checking the website for yourself. So bookmark the website. Dallin, no, you're gonna eat all of my bread. You're like literally just standing there as I feed it to you. Buddy, no. It's like, well, you shouldn't have put it in your room. Well, I'm gonna put it over here now. Now what are you gonna do? Okay, go lie down, buddy. He's not usually up here, so it's fine. Just not during the broadcast, at least. Alright. Here, Dallin, do you wanna... If I put this outside the room, are you gonna knock again? 1 second, guys. Because we're about to do our meditation. I just don't want him breathing up my back. Here, go get it. Go get it, boy. Get it. Can you take him downstairs? He's just in here for food. Is that okay, Mom? Okay. Oh, okay, good. Alright, go for a walk. Perfect timing. My mom was just looking for him to take him for a walk, so... Synchronicity strikes again. Alright. Okay, what do we got right now? Still got Anna and Jesse in the hangout. Thanks, guys. Thanks for holding space. Again, thanks for allowing me to communicate these messages to the team. And just checking in real quick here. Cool. All right, let's move into our little meditation here. And we're just going to kind of coordinate this meditation with the Free Hugs event that we got coming up. So, individual meditation, then we'll get into individual paradigm shift community updates and dream recall sharing, poetry, and open discussion. And from there, closing intentions and meditation. And this may not be a long broadcast. That's totally cool with me. Those 4-hour broadcasts really kick my butt. Those take a lot of energy. So if we can wrap up this broadcast before midnight, that's super cool with me. And thank you again, everyone, for tuning in and for finding value in what it is that we were doing here. And again, you know, constant invitation. This broadcast, there may not be like a heck of a lot of people in the discussion, in the actual hangout, but you know, you are welcome to join. And if you prefer just watching on YouTube, that's totally cool too. But again, you know that that invitation is there to be able to join, especially with the parts that we got coming up for the updates and the, again, dream recall, open discussion. Maybe you guys might have some discussions in the chat for some suggestions in the chat for what you would like to hear talked about during open discussion. And that works a lot better when we have a couple more people to be able to take part in that. So cool. All right. Working up a bit of sweat here. Let's get nice and comfortable and go into our short micro meditation here, guys. All right. So just inviting everyone to get nice and relaxed. Close your eyes. Just allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your eyebrows to relax. Your cheekbones, your ears, your entire face. Maybe for the first time today, just allow yourself to be aware of your own breath, to be connected with your breath in this moment. So gentle inhales through the nose, gentle exhales through the nose or the mouth. Again, gentle inhales through the nose. Gentle exhales through the nose or the mouth. Continuing to breathe, allowing the inhale to meet the exhale to meet the inhale, like water gently rolling up on a shore. And within this short meditation, what I want you to do is I want you to see into futures that already exist. I want you to imagine, as you keep focus on your breath, as you keep focus on your heart, imagine yourself standing in your city, in your location, wherever you are in the world, standing somewhere with a free hug sign. And I want you to just imagine at the center of your heart a white ball of light. And as you continue to breathe, as you imagine yourself standing there holding this free hug sign, slowly begin to visualize and feel this white ball of light at the center of your heart gently beginning to expand, gently beginning to move through your entire body as it pulses with the rhythm of your own breath. And slowly this white light will begin to fill your body. And as it does, it sends out a vibration. It sends out a signal into your environment. And so as you're doing this simultaneously, imagine people walking around where you are. And maybe in this moment, you just notice that these people, observing them almost as if they are just shadows, as if they are just asleep, sleepwalking through the dream, without judgment, simply are as they are. And as you stand there and you fill your body with this light, you see a spark in one of the people walking by you as they look over to you and they see you. And then they come over to you, and in this moment, feeling any activation sensations up the spine, imagine yourself giving them a hug. Imagine you giving them a hug and them giving you a hug in this moment, and just embracing each other. And as you do, you feel the white light inside of you fill up even more, while also filling their light with your light. And you hold that hug for just a couple more breaths. So really deep breath, really holding that hug heart to heart. This is a stranger, yet in this moment you acknowledge them as another friend, as a human, as a soul on this journey. And as you release the hug, you look at them, not simply at their face, but seeing them as almost just this literal light being, just this figure of a human in white light, as you yourself are as well. And you nod to them, you smile, maybe some words of gratitude are expressed, and they go about their day. And as they do, you see them carry their white light into the crowd of those who are walking asleep. And then, as they move into the crowd, you begin to see their white light slowly moving and rubbing off onto others within the crowd. And then just like that, another person begins to acknowledge that you are where you are and slowly walks over and gives you a hug as well. The same thing repeats. You fill their body with white light as they fill your body with white light. In this moment, you take another deep breath, feeling any activation sensations up the spine, any tingling sensations through the body. Acknowledging that as much as this is in your imagination, this is a real event that will take place if it hasn't already for you, as much as you choose it to be. And so you give this other person a hug, and again, it repeats. They go back into the crowd and they spread the light with them. And in doing this, you look into the crowd, and no longer is it just filled with complete darkness, but you begin to see these different figures illuminated in their own self-awareness, in their own awareness of truth and love and deep wisdom. And you begin to see the effects that your presence is making, the ripple effect that you are having on others in this moment. And so imagine, as we begin to conclude this meditation, simply sharing a few more hugs with other people and really feeling what this feels like for you. And through this, in a non-linear sense, you begin to see, again, the crowd of people walking by you slowly becoming more illuminated by the self-awareness that each one of us carries, by the light that each one of us is aware of, and acknowledging that those who were sleepwalking, they too are already illuminated, yet perhaps there's just a bit of mud that is covering the light. They are not dark because they are absent of light. They are merely dark because the light has been covered. And so in doing free hugs, you gently brush off the dirt. You allow the light that is already there to shine through and to be seen. And so just imagine a few more moments of you sharing in this space of doing free hugs. And even imagine yourself giving a free hug sign to another person there, and imagine them standing next to you. And imagine them giving a hug to another person, and imagine you giving another sign to another person, to another person, to another person. And before long, you are in a crowd of white light. You are in a crowd of others who are also doing free hugs with you. And so just imagine and feel like what this would feel like, what this does feel like in this moment. And allow yourself to smile, literally smile right now, like fake it or whatever you consider it to be. Smile in this moment. Allow yourself to laugh in this moment as much as you choose to. Bring in that vibration. Align yourself with that future. Move forward with intention and choice. The power to help make a difference is very real. All it is a choice. And you are powerful enough to make that choice. You are inspired enough to make that choice. And through making that choice, you invite others to make that choice as well. You lead by example. You help all of us find our way back to the heart, to brush the dirt off so that we can continue to shine and carry that vision, to carry that light with us further out into the world. And so imagining this light spreading out from your location, and imagining the location of shifters all across the world, each one of us lights in different parts of the world, illuminating and spreading out like a ripple all around the globe. Feel that in your heart. Acknowledge the difference that makes. Remember the truth of all that is. And so bringing your awareness back to your breath, allowing this vision to continue in the back of your mind even as you conclude this meditation, because it is still happening. Literally somewhere in the world right now, someone is doing free hugs. This is always happening. That is the world and the timeline we are in right now. A timeline that we've created together, one in which at every moment of every day, someone is doing free hugs somewhere. And you are helping bring that into fruition. It already is, but you are helping maintain that vision through your action. So thank you. Thanking you from me on behalf of all, and thanking yourself. So gently breathe into that space in your heart. Just take a few more breaths here. So in this moment, even just repeating a few mantras before we close off this meditation. Repeating after me, if you choose, either out loud or in your mind. I am brave. I am strong. I am vulnerable. I am courageous. I am compassionate. I am leading. I am following. I am teaching. I am sharing. I am giving. I am receiving. I am growing. I am inspiring. I am shifting. Good. I am love. Take a couple more breaths here. Through this vision, aligning with that reality, setting out those branches, bring it into fruition. You are the catalyst. You are the portal. Your destiny awaits. Rise to meet it. For your journey is not just your own. Slowly, at your own pace, gently begin to bring awareness back to your physical body, maintaining awareness of the breath. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes, return your awareness to the space around you. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. For those of you in the live chat, or even people afterwards, please feel free to leave some comments. Let me guys know what that how that felt for you. How are you feeling right now? In 3 words, how are you feeling right now? 3 words. How are you feeling right now? Leave that in the comments, and we can read a couple of those. And yeah, again, I think that was a good meditation. I appreciate you guys being a part of that. And again, that's a big part of what it is that we have the potential here to do, to kind of use the power of meditation to kind of align with those future realities, to bring them into fruition simply by creating that shared intention. So thank you for being a part of that meditation. And please feel free to go back and listen to that again. Sweet. Awesome. Okay, we'll see if any comments come in for that. Nonetheless, people just saying, thank you, Brendon. Loved the feeling, says Cindy. That was incredible, bro, says Steven. Thank you, Steven. Cindy's saying, I am shifting. And Steven saying, fucking goddamn awesome. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate it. Awesome. Sweet. Okay. Thank you again, guys, for being here. And again, you know, like, let's do this. Free Hugs Day, July 18th, coming up. Catalyst. Free hugs. Like, July 18th is a very powerful day. Yeah, it's my birthday. It's also Nelson Mandela's birthday, for those of you who weren't aware. So we can, like, create our own Mandela effect. Does that make sense? Let's create new timelines, guys. Let's do it. That is what I am here to help you do, is to help remind you of how you can create new timelines. You know, this is this whole story, this whole broadcast, and that is why it's important for me to do it. Because even if there's a small group of people doing it, I know that ripple effect continues. But of course, yeah, we would love for this broadcast to reach more people. We want more people to be able to receive this broadcast. So we want you guys to be able to share it. Because again, this is about being able to activate the real world superpowers, real world superhero within each and every one of us. That potential that each of us already carries. And that superpower is the power of the heart. That isn't just me saying that. That literally is the superpower. By being aware of our heart, by being aware of how we can create realities, and by being able to intentionally help bring forth new timelines. And that's kind of the way how this reality works. You know, reality will go past us regardless of our active participation, and things will still happen regardless of our active participation. But when we meet that universe halfway, when we act as the God of our own reality, and we set out and we say, like, hey, I'm going to create this. I'm going to bring about this event. I'm going to help instigate this. I'm going to create the container. I'm going to be the portal for synchronicity. That's powerful. That changes reality. That brings forth new timelines. That alters the entire collective story. And we can do that together. We can do that individually. And again, thank you so much for everyone for doing it in all the ways that we do. So again, this is about being aware of who we are, knowing ourselves, remembering who we came here to be, hearing the call to step into our potential, using things like free hugs as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to share, as an opportunity to connect, and understanding the difference that collectively we can, and we continue to make. As a team, as a global team of shifters, it is a very powerful idea. And for every shifter out there, you have the impact of affecting the lives of hundreds and thousands. So that's why it's a very peculiar thing that this broadcast, that this project, you know, we don't have like 1,000 viewers tuned in live all the time, not yet at least. But that's okay, because I know in my heart that even if there is 10 of us, 20 of us, 30 of us, that still has the potential to affect thousands. And that is why we do it. And you have the potential to continue to affect thousands more. Everything that is happening here continues with what you do. So continue to carry the shift with you. Continue to carry that intention of being able to help make a difference in this world. Answer the call. How can I help make a difference? By creating art, by knowing myself, by being present with my own lessons, by putting myself out there so that others have the opportunity to connect, so that I can learn from them, and so that they can learn from me, and so that collectively we can grow, we can dissolve boundaries, we can lead by example, we can build community, we can inspire, we can create visions, and we can literally awaken within the dream. All very, very powerful ideas, and each of us is holding a very important part of that story. There are certain things that only you can do. There are certain doors that only you can unlock. And through you unlocking doors, it helps others unlock doors. Catalysts. This is about being a catalyst. You are a catalyst. You are a shifter. You are a light guardian. As much as you choose to be. The archetype is there. It is already inside of you. Hold it with pride, with duty, with responsibility, with power, with courage, and with compassion. So have that courage to be compassionate, and you will change the world because you already have. So there we go. I think that's a pretty awesome thing to be reminded of. So again, let's see, are there any other comments on people saying how awesome they feel? Feeling good vibes. Yeah. Thanks, Nikki. Much love. Awesome. Thank you again so much, everyone, for being a part of this. It's again, you know, this is a learning experience for me. You guys being here, this helps me like continue to become more activated. We still got a lot more shifting to go, guys. This story is, you know, new chapters all the time. There's always more work to do. We take what we learn, we bring it with us into that next chapter, and we continue to grow from there. So thank you for allowing me to continue to grow through this collective shared experience that we are creating together. Cool. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Spreading those good vibes out there. Pew, 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 making a difference. Pew, 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 pew. Much love. All right, let's go into a little bit of group discussion again. Literally, we just have me and Jesse in the Hangout right now. And again, that's cool. I do want to be able to invite more people to join the broadcast. If you haven't yet, again, all you have to do is have a profile on the main website. I could post the link directly for the Google Hangout into the Facebook chat. The only reason I don't is because I like the idea of there being protocol in terms of people having to step through gates in order to be able to enter, and it also is just a buffer to be able to prevent trolls from joining. I am pretty trusting in the people tuned in right now, but at the same time, it's not that hard to create a profile on the main website if you haven't already yet, and then from there you go to live.paradigmshiftcentral.com/join hangout, and you follow the links. So if anybody like is really looking to join, then please feel free to do that. Now would be a great time to do that as we're like getting closer to more group discussion. Just going back to the YouTube chat, David, he says he's feeling groovy, vibin', inspired. Again, David just saying thank you. Denise saying thank you. Find a circle. We are out there, says Forest Advisor. You are Jedi. Attending a meditation or medicine circle will help one to open themselves up to hugging, says Forrest. Thank you, Forrest, for being a part of this. Cool. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys... Okay. Let's see. We got 10 people watching. All right, guys. I'm gonna put some trust into the universe. I'm gonna post a direct link to the Hangout into the YouTube, into the Facebook as well. And I'm doing it with the idea that you guys are going to be respecting the space. And obviously I have the ability to like kick anyone out of the Hangout. So if anyone's misbehaving, that's like a quick decision for me. But again, I'm going to post the link there, but be aware that like there's like kind of like protocols and stuff like that in terms of the circle, in terms of the intention. And I just ask you to kind of like follow the directions as we move through with things. And I'll just give you a quick itinerary. So I'm going to post the to the direct Hangout. Join the... If you are brand new, please don't join. If you're like a person who's tuned into previous broadcasts, please feel free to join. If you're brand new, join in next week. That would be all I would ask. My dog is knocking at the door. So I'm posting into the YouTube chat. I'm posting the link to join the Hangout. And again, what's coming up, I'm just going to tell you guys real quick. Coming up, we have individual Paradigm Shift community updates. So that's us talking about things that are happening within our local Paradigm Shift communities. From there, we have individual project updates. That would be things like what projects we're working on, videos, you know, other like artistic expressive creative projects, maybe physical community projects. From there, dream recall sharing, poetry sharing, open discussion practice, what we refer to as branching, and then closing intentions and gratitude, closing meditation, and outro. So again, I'm posting a link to join the Hangout directly. We don't normally do this, but since there's only 2 of us in the Hangout, I'm going to do it anyways. And whoever joins, we shall see. But again, just asking you to respect the sacred space that we are co-creating. And yeah, if need be, I'll ban anyone if need be. But I feel we have a good group of people tuned into this right now. So posting the link into the chat and posting it into the Facebook as well. And I think I just gotta let my dog in because he's scratching at my door again. So 1 second, just waiting for my computer to buffer. Go computer, go. Go, 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 computer. 1 second, guys. What? Okay, if you guys are still receiving... Cool, okay. Let me just let my dog in real quick. 2 seconds. seconds, guys, and then we'll go around the talking circle. We'll get Jesse to talk first, and then a couple other people will join, and I'll give some updates for community stuff happening for Paradigm Shift London as well. So 1 second. Alan, you coming in? Come on in, buddy. Welcome back. How was your walk, dude? Yeah, now you're like puffing even more so. Cool. Alright, so keeping an eye on things, and if people are joining, I'll be sure to mute their microphones on the fly. And yeah, okay, cool. Alright, Dallin, sit, buddy. Sit. Sit. Yeah. A little bit of misdirect. I'm just gonna hide the rest of this. I gave him the plate, therefore he thinks there's no more food. No more food, dude. You can still hang out here, but no, there's no more food. It disappeared. I ate it. No, it's just like, I hate it, that's all. No, there's no more food. You should lie down and stop puffing on the microphone. 1 second, guys. I'm just chewing avocado. Toast, that is. Okie dokie. Alright, good boy. Whew. 1 second. Yes, my plan worked. He does not realize there's still toast in the room. Okay, cool. Alright, keeping an eye on anybody joining the Hangouts. Again, thank you everyone just for tuning into this. And again, you know, your mission, continue spreading these vibes out there. Go do free hugs, create paradigm shift communities, get involved, level yourself up. That's how we play this game, man. That's how we play this game of life, this game of a soul here on Earth, reminding ourselves that we're actually, you know, multidimensional beings. So, all right, I'm just going to give quick updates, and then I'm going to pass the talking stick to Jesse. We're on the part of the broadcast where we're just talking about individual paradigm shift community updates. So again, you know, the reason behind doing this, if there was other people, last week we did have other people more so, but again, you know, this is where like people can talk about wanting to create a paradigm shift community. They can talk about progress already happening with the creation of a paradigm shift community. So they can say like, you know, like, oh, we've been having meetings going on lately, and you know, they've been going well. We got an upcoming meeting, we got an event coming up, or things like that. And again, you know, people can talk about saying like, yeah, you know, I really want to start a paradigm shift community, and I'm thinking about doing it, and here's kind of my intention. So by verbalizing it, it allows us to just kind of like actualize it a little bit more. And again, if you have nothing to say on it, then you can totally just pass. Okay, cool. So we got Forrest Advisor, who has joined the Hangout, and they were on YouTube. So Forrest, thanks for joining. And again, if anybody's like joining on the fly and you haven't created your profile on the main website, just be sure to create your profile after. That's totally cool. All right. Okay, so updates from my end. Again, Paradigm Shift London, Ontario, Canada. We have our meetings on Fridays at the Tea Lounge. Last week we had a really good meeting. In particular, one thing that I'll mention from the meeting is that there is a young shifter, a junior shifter, a friend of mine who is like 11 or 12 years old, who I actually met from the training gym that I work at, CTC Obstacles. It's like a ninja training gym. And I was there like a couple weeks earlier, and it was there for a day camp, and I was talking to him and a couple other kids, and we were talking a lot about like dreams and spirituality and stuff. And I told him about the Paradigm Shift meetups, and he was really interested. So he came out, and he came out with his dad, and his dad came with him, and his dad was like really supportive of it. And that was really cool, again, to be able to see the value of the Paradigm Shift community circles from the perspective of a 12-year-old kid, and also his father as well. To be able to see like them supporting each other, for his father to be like, yeah, you know, this is something that's important to him, so I want to be able to like come out and be a part of it. And both of them were talking, and we were talking a lot about spirits, talked a lot about like paranormal stuff, talked a lot about like reincarnation, talked about dreams, power of the mind. And it was really fun to be able to listen to him and some of the ideas he had. One idea that he had that was really cute, and again, it's kind of like this like perspective of a younger person, and just how they perceive things, but I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, like that's a cool idea, I like that. He had this idea that if there's like an animal that's like our favorite animal in this lifetime, say, you know, for example, for me, I talk about like a wolf and stuff like that, whether you're referring to a spirit animal or not. He was saying that from his perspective, he was like, yeah, he's like, I think whatever animal is your favorite animal is probably because you were that animal in your past life. like your last past life, you were that animal. So I'm just like, okay, cool. You know, like I see your perception on that, and I'm not in a place where I'm gonna say like, no, I disagree, but it's just like listening, and it's just like, damn, man, like that's creative. Like I like the cut of your jib. Like that's a very cool concept, you know, and let him play with those ideas, let him formulate, present some ways that he can kind of connect them. And then we were talking a lot about trees, and then he like really got into the idea as we were presenting it, how like trees are like literally people and people are literally trees. And he was like looking at trees and he's like, yeah, you know, like I can like see like the shape of a person in that tree over there. So that was really cool. So again, having a junior shifter out at one of the meetings was an awesome experience that we had recently. And again, part of the reason why me telling you this is so that you can create a paradigm shift community and have, you know, people of all ages come out for your meetings where you are. And another thing that we got coming up within the future for Paradigm Shift is regular ecstatic dances events that happen here in London, Ontario, Canada. We're working on merging those events, and coming up either this week or next week, I'm going to be hosting an ecstatic dance event like in sort of like a paradigm shifty way, where I'm going to kind of do like an opening meditation, and then it's going to segue into the dance. And for those of you who don't know what ecstatic dance is, it's an event where there's a playlist, and the playlist is already pre-made, and it's like a very kind of flowing playlist with the music can be anything, but the space is very intentional. There's no talking, and it's just about freeform expression of dance. So it's not like a party in the traditional sense, but it's more of like a meditative practice. And it's also like, it is a party. It's very fun in many ways. So again, it's like really about like kind of like tapping into that inner fire and just being able to openly express ourselves, and also about creating community. So I'm working on, again, kind of like possibly moving to a new location for Paradigm Shift in the coming future, and to be able to collaborate Paradigm Shift. So it would go from a Paradigm Shift meeting into an ecstatic dance meeting. So that's something that I'm working on within the Paradigm Shift community. And yeah, that's pretty much all the updates that I have. And yeah, again, you know, they're going great, and I encourage people to create a Paradigm Shift community where you are. If you're looking for anybody, if you're looking for like how to start a Paradigm Shift community, I'll give you the links for that. Go to live.paradigmshiftcentral.com/startup guide. And I'll post the links for that into the chats as well. Cool. All right. And let me just double check the YouTube, because I think we had other people. Okay. Again, if anybody has already just like created a profile on the main website, I'll have to like approve that as we're doing this. But then follow the link live.paradigmshiftcentral.com/join hangout, and follow that link. Join here. Okay, because I think I'm talking to Benny, because Benny is talking about that. Okay, let's get into passing the talking stick around. I just want to be able to actually check in with Forrest, and then we'll pass over to Jesse. And yeah, and then if anybody else wants to join, we can join as well. And then after this, after the community updates, we're individual project updates. So that would be like, you know, projects you're working on, videos you're working on, things like that. So Forrest, I'm just going to do a microphone check for you as if you can unmute yourself, and I'm going to pull up your microphone, and you can just kind of briefly introduce yourself and anything you have to say relative to the context of Paradigm Shift community updates. You know, maybe if you're thinking about starting a community, or just any involvement you already have with conscious community or events in your area, please feel free to let us know. Okay, so Forrest, I'm just pulling up your microphone now. So Forrest, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Perfect. Awesome. Sweet. All right. Forrest, let me just double check. Have we talked before?
Yes.
We have. Okay, cool. All right. I apologize if I can't remember exactly where and when that was, but it was in one of the past broadcasts?
Yeah, I've been on a couple broadcasts.
Okay, cool, man.
I also have I'm on the Paradigm Shift Central website.
Okay, perfect. Awesome, man. Well, thank you again for being here, for being a part of the discussion. And yeah, we'll pass the talking stick over to you, and you can share, just like you can kind of put in a little bit of a quick introduction as well into you talking about this, and then segue it into any community update news that you would like to share with the community. So go right ahead, dude.
Sure. Well, I started my my community building with my first shamanic ceremony, and it was completely life-changing, just one ceremony. And from then on, I found this connection with all living beings, And ever since then, I've wanted to just keep this community going. And then I of course found your material on YouTube, and found your website and so on. And I love what you're doing with the Paradigm Shift Central, and I love that the positive vibe that you have with it. That you have not forgotten that although this may be a matrix of a sort, it is not without love, and love is really what holds us together. It's really what keeps us sane in such a, when we're living in a society of insanity. So what I do so other than shamanism, I do work with the plant. This is plant shamanism, such as what they do in the Amazon, with shamanic medicinal plants and the Amazon, ayahuasca, Wachuma, San Pedro, so on. Tobacco is also a very big healer, and I have created fire circles, and we just discuss, what's on our mind, a lot like this, where there's a talking stick and nobody interrupts, and it's just you in the fire, and everybody else is just there, pretty much for support, because the conversation is really with you and Grandfather Fire. And this is actually a pretty ancient ceremony that we need to, reclaim. But the natives have been doing this for, since the beginning of time. So I use that to build my community, to create community, and to, share the love throughout my community.
Yeah, dude, that's really awesome. Sorry, I was just kind of like double checking. Can we just, for people in the live chat, can you just drop an 1111 if you guys can hear Forrest okay? It should be coming through. I just think it's just my... Yeah, no, it's just my headphones. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it's all good. Sweet. No, dude, Forrest, that's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. And is there anything else that you would want to share within that? Like, I think, like, I feel like there could be. I mean, wow. let me just ask you. First of all, where are you located?
So I'm in the U.S., in California in particular.
Okay, cool, man. And yeah, how long have you been doing like the the fire discussion circles?
Well, I guess you could say I really, committed 3 years. Yeah. But it's all part of the shamanic path, the shamanic work, which is a lot like meditation. In fact, it's really nothing to be afraid about. If anything, it's our birthright, if you will.
Yeah. I think it's really great that you're doing that, man. And I mean, obviously, like, the vibes out in California are pretty open to a lot of the spirituality, and from my own experience out there, it's a really beautiful place and a lot of really wonderful community. What's the feedback been like for people who have been participating in your fire circles? It must mean a lot to them as well.
Oh yeah, like you mentioned the energy here in California, like lightning in the bottle, it's just, that's like every ceremony, what it feels like, that same kind of loving vibe, I mean, obviously when there's, thousands of people, like we have a lightning in the bottle, some people are not resonating on the exact frequency, but at ceremony, it's wonderful because everybody is resonating at the exact frequency, and everybody's there for the same purpose also, and that's to open their minds, open their hearts, and to really understand what love truly is. And then I'm sorry, I forgot the last part of the question you asked.
Yeah, I was just talking about like how what it means for other people to be able to have this space to be able to participate in. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Well, as you know, when you during meditation or during a ceremony, uh, there usually is time to share afterwards, but it's limited. And with these fire circles, it's a fire integration circle. There's different kind of fire circles. Like there's a fire dance work, there's fire drumming. Um, this in particular is integration, and so you've had a couple weeks to already integrate within about your last ceremony or your last dream or whatever kind of spiritual experience you had. Maybe it's an ongoing very aggressive discussion you're having on Facebook that you need to talk to Grandfather Fire about. Whatever it is, it's healing because you're speaking in a way, speaking your mind without judgment, and most importantly, speaking your heart and saying to Grandfather Fire how you feel about this certain journey, how you feel about this certain conversation. And what I find is that the journeys are way more detailed when someone doesn't feel like they're rushed for time, and also that their mind is clear, because a lot of time after ceremony you can have a little foggy mind because you're not sure what really just happened, and you're coming back to this reality and you're not really sure how real this reality is. And so after you've let it sit for a couple days or a week or however long you feel like you need to let it sit and hash out alone, come to the circle, and the vivid details that can come out of us when we're looking into fire is invigorating. And I find that it really brings out a special type of healing that's almost indescribable.
I really like that. It's really beautiful. Yeah, like that's something that, I mean, in all the experience I've been doing with Paradigm Shift, I haven't hosted like an intentional fire discussion circle. That's actually, just hearing you talk about that definitely like makes me want to be able to do it. I mean, I've been at like house parties with fires and stuff, and I mean, even just this weekend there was like a really beautiful like house party we were at with like a fire in the backyard and DJs playing and lightsabers spinning and poi and everything like that, and there was discussion around the fire, but not like with that same intention. That's something I'd love to be able to do. And again, it just goes as a reminder that for anybody listening to this, there's a million and different ways to be able to create community gathering. And so again, like having it around a fire is one way, having it at a tea lounge is one way, having it at a yoga studio, having it at a park, but I think there's something like really meaningful to doing it around the fire, as you said, because it's like such a ancient way of being able to do it. And I like what you said, the idea of looking into the fire as a meditation kind of like opens up a part of us that maybe sometimes when we talk, and I really like the idea of having that conversation with the fire as much as it is with the people around you. Sometimes when we talk, it's really interesting. And this is why talking is important, because there's certain things that we need to hear ourselves say. And we're almost like the talker and the observer at the same time. Even right now, like, yes, I'm conscious. Yes, words are coming out of my mouth. But yes, I'm also in a flow state where things just kind of happen. So imagine yourself being around a fire and you're reflecting and someone asks you, how do you feel about this? Or what are your thoughts on this? And then you just kind of like let it come out. And then in the process of doing that, you observe how you feel. You observe how you think. And you're just like, oh, like, that's cool. Like, I'm like my own student. I'm like being able to actually like learn from what I am saying as much as it is already inside of me. Sometimes we need to bounce it outside of us so it can bounce back into us. I think it's like a really magical process. But yeah, I feel like there could maybe just be like a little bit more to talk about that, and then we'll pass the talking stick around for us, just on some of your own personal experiences with the benefits of like community gathering and anything else you feel called to share in this moment, to just to help inspire people to take action where they are, and reiterating the value of community.
Oh yeah, for sure. One thing that we have after after everybody has spoken what they needed to get off their chest, so to speak, and the integration has happened, is we'll just bring out some instruments, and at this time it's kind of more like just a little hangout time. So like you said, that a friend who's having a fire at his house and everybody's hanging out, but we have that, but that's after the integration. So we have kind of like a seriousness and then a silliness afterwards, and that's pretty important too, because instruments are another thing that really spreads the love, and you really don't need to know how to play. It's simple, like here's a maraca, here's a drum, and honestly, if anybody has a heartbeat, they can play the drum. you know and and the maraca too, because when we're playing the beat of our hearts, and that really brings everybody together, and that really brings a nice community.
Yeah.
Also known as drum circles. Drum circles are that's how I got introduced into shamanism. I was just interested in a drum circle, and from there I got invited places. And yeah, so the fire creates community. Connecting with the elements creates community. Another thing that we can do often is, I know of a group that does monthly hiking, where you go on a spirit hike, where instead of hiking and talking, you're hiking with people, but in silence, and you just take in this nature that's all around you, and you see the nature as something else than these inanimate objects, but actual living creatures all around us. And let me tell you, once you're tapped in, the spirits are all around, and they let you know they're there too. It's just one has to take the time and the intention to want to connect with the spirits, to want to connect with nature. And that would be my advice for anybody that is interested in connecting with the spirit realm, is to go and connect with nature, because that is the manifestation of the spirit realm. That's what I've been shown in on my shamanic path, is that we are way more connected to the plants and the trees than we know we are.
That's beautiful. I really like that. Yeah. Nah, that's cool, man. And yeah, absolutely. Drum circle, very, very powerful as well. And that's something that happens fairly regularly here within the London, Ontario community. We try to do those once a week. So again, like there's I organize the Paradigm Shift London meetups, but there's other events being organized, and it's really powerful. Each one kind of like serves a different flavor of connection, and each one is valuable in its own way. But I like that idea. I like the idea of just going on nature walks. It's very, very powerful. Cool, man. Any just words that you just want to share to just give a little, share some inspiration for the people tuned into this, to help them move forward on their path towards creating community, or just like anything in general. But we'll still have more discussion later on as we go. So
yeah, for sure. If you're looking for a circle, it's because you're hearing the call. And my advice would be is to find any kind of meditation group. That's where it starts. So it could be Indian based, like Oneness from India. It could be Zen based. It could be drum circle. It could be, even shamanic based. But find a meditation group. And then from there, if you're resonating, you may be invited somewhere, and just be open to that invitation. Don't fear. Don't allow fear to take over. Get comfortable, develop relationships, don't go off to someone else off in the woods who you just met, of course, let's be smart about this. Don't go off to a jungle because there's, a so-called shaman out there. No, do your homework, get to know the people, create a relationship with those people, and you will find that you'll be taken on some pretty amazing adventures and meet some pretty amazing people. And it's like that in the spirit realm too. Don't just trust any spirit that walks up to you and says, hey, let's go for a ride. Any benevolent spirit will create a relationship with you first.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely, man. And yeah, again, like I kind of go back to this idea that if we're feeling that call to connect with community, know that like there are already people out there who we are already connected with who we haven't met yet. And so as much as, there usually in most places now, there are events that people can find. So start doing a little bit of research, see what meetup groups there are. There's usually like a yoga studio in every city at this point, and usually they have like meditation groups. So look for those things, where at the same time, don't be afraid to start your own group as well. And again, like that's kind of, when I was in college, that was basically my motivation, was the idea of like, hey, I really want to have an open discussion group where I can talk to people about like weird metaphysical stuff. It didn't exist at the time, therefore I created it. So again, like do your research, check into stuff, go to other events if they're available. It'll help you get comfortable, it'll help you connect with community. It may even help you connect with people who might want to help you in creating another event. And again, whether you're calling it a paradigm shift community or not is secondary. That's totally optional. We invite people to do that under the umbrella of it being, part of this collective team. But again, any sort of community, any sort of conscious gathering is important, and that's really what we want you to be able to do. But yeah, just really listen to that and feel it in your heart that, is this something that I want to create? Is it exciting for me to create it? Is it a little bit scary for me to set on that path? Because it is one that is going to be a little bit different, but it is definitely one that is going to be rewarding. So again, just really listen to that. And I think there's an awesome opportunity waiting ahead for everyone, wherever you are. And there's community. There's, wherever there are people who are awakening. And so even if you're in a place where you feel like there's not a lot of people who are awakening, that is probably why you're there, to help create a funnel, to help create a portal, to be able to help create a connection for other like-minded people to gather around. Because there might be other people who are also like interested in metaphysics, who are in the same location as you, and they're looking for you and you're looking for them, but you don't know you're looking for each other until you create that central gathering point. And that gives a signal to the universe to say like, hey, let's meet up here at this time. And that's really like as simple as it is, so simple yet effective. Cool. All right. Cool. Forrest, thanks for sharing. Thanks for joining, man. I'm looking forward to chatting a little bit longer. Are you around for more of the broadcast? Or are you kind of coming and going?
Yeah, I can stick around for probably another hour.
Okay, cool, man. Sweet. Because we got some more discussion that I want to be able to get into, including Rosalind in the chat. She was just asking a question that we'll be able to put into our open discussion, which I'll mention now. And she was saying, a question, could you share some knowledge or anything you feel about the Star of David or the two-dimensional star tetrahedron / Merkaba? So that's something that I'd be down to go back and talk about, and maybe that might be something for us that you might have some information to talk about, and we'll just kind of set that up and get back to it a little bit later. So again, like there's always this infinite amount of things to be able to talk about, and even if we've talked about it on Paradigm Shift in the past, it's always worthwhile to go back and talk about again, because like it's us that changes, so therefore our perception of something changes. How we explain something a year ago might not be how we explain it now, because we've changed. So yeah, we can talk a little bit about the Star David and the star tetrahedron a little bit later, Rosalind, as once we go through just a couple things on the itinerary. So just checking in here, Forrest, thank you again, man. And Forrest, if you can leave your profile link into the chat, into this Google Hangout chat, that'd be greatly appreciated. Or just let me know what is your profile on the Paradigm Shift Central website, because I was running a search on you, but I couldn't find it. What name are you under on the Paradigm Shift Central website, Forrest? If you can just reply to that real quick. I'm not sure. You just got, if you can unmute your microphone. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll well, I'm not sure. I think it might be under forest advisor or advisor of the forest, or
Okay.
see
Sweet.
the forest advisor is actually a name that that was given to me from the universe.
Right on, right on.
So that's not just any old tag that I came up with. That's actually what my name means. And kind of like your name is Brendon Wolf. Yeah, I kind of got that. My actual name, the meaning of my real name is advisor of the forest,
Hey, right on.
free man of the lion tribe.
Awesome, man. It's
But that's a long name.
I dig it. I dig it. Cool, man. All right. Yeah, post any links and I'll link that into the show notes, and because I was trying to run a search on your name on the website, but I didn't find it yet, but I'll find it afterwards as well. So cool, man. But yeah, thanks again, dude. I really appreciate you being here and what you bring to the circle. Cool. And even as we're doing this, guys, like, you can kind of practice visualizing us being around a fire circle right now. So, I mean, again, going back to the idea of like the concept of the round table, again, it's the round table, it's the circle, it's the ancient ceremony that we are bringing forth into the modern digital age through the power of technology. Like, how incredibly awesome is that? So, again, within your own mind, you can imagine us sitting at a round table. You can imagine us sitting around a fireplace. Either or, both at the same time, even imagining a fire being at the center of the round table, and kind of, again, bringing back in that like tribal resurgence, that archaic revival, so to speak, of ancient myths as well as ancient traditions. So cool. And again, those ancient myths and traditions are timeless, hence why they still hold resonance today. Okay, cool. Let's pass the talking stick around a little bit, and we'll go to Jesse next. And if there were other people looking to join the broadcast, please feel free. You guys are more than welcome. Otherwise, like 3 people, we can man the ship with that. That's totally cool. But again, we do want to be able to let people know that they are invited to be able to join the broadcast. And if not this one, then join in for future broadcasts. So cool. Okay, sweet. Thanks, Forrest. Got that link there. All right. Oh, okay. Now I know exactly who you are, Forrest. Now that I saw your profile, because I remember your quest journals from a while back, all about like your ceremony experiences. Very cool. Okay, put 2 and 2 together now. I'm gonna go back and like check out some of those again, because those were some like really good ones. I remember there's some like alien related ones in there too. So cool. All right. Let's check in with Jesse. Jesse, if you just want to unmute your microphone, I'll pull up your microphone if you're there. And we will pass the talking stick over to you, and you can share a little bit about any any paradigm shift community updates. So just kind of keeping it focused within that, and then we'll go into project updates after. So Jesse, I'm just gonna bring your microphone back up, and Jesse, I'll pass the talking stick over to you. So whenever you're ready, dude, any paradigm shift community updates that you might have for the team, if you would like to share, go ahead. Cool. And Jesse, if you're there, go ahead whenever you're ready, dude.
Okay. So, what do you mean? My own community paradigm shifts?
If you do, yeah, if you do have anything to share, if you even want to just pass on that, that's totally cool as well. Like, if you have any planned, like any community events that you're involved with where you are, or if you have any intentions on creating any community events.
Yeah. Like Forrest was talking about with circles, right? How we can get involved with different circles in a very natural way, ancestral way, right? Spiritual way too. I've had my own strange experiences in that regard, because I was looking as well, and in a way I found what I was looking for. And it was a lot for me to take in at once. It's like, be careful what you wish for, right? Because you might get it, and when you get it, you might not know what to do. So when I found my circle, and it's literally a circle, like he's talking about too. We get in a circle and we do stuff, and very similar to what he was talking about. I just went kind of like to the deep end I guess that's just my personality. And um, I kind of, realized I wasn't the greatest swimmer. I guess that's a good metaphor. So I'm kind of, going back towards shallower water. Another metaphor, and I'm gonna, with this circle that I'm in, they do their things regularly every week or every 2 weeks or so, right? And I can be involved. It's an open community, so um, whenever I want, I can just come every time they're holding their event, and it's intense. Like you can't just go to these things and then fall back into the matrix or whatever, right? Like um, because it's severely depressing and lonely in a way because you look at other people and you're not giving them free hugs, which helps so much because since I've been doing these things, I've become even more open to the way people are, so to say. I won't use the word energies, but I'll just say the way people are, which is good. Like there are times where I can really like uh talk to people because I can read them and I can say the right thing. So it helps with picking up girls. It helps with you know, staying out of trouble and well, getting into trouble too because you can look at someone the wrong way. And if you don't have your free hug sign and you look at someone the wrong way, uh uh yeah, and you don't have your free hug sign. um so anyways, with the circles that I go into, we become very sensitive in these circles. So we make it a very safe environment uh, to the best we can, and we sing. So the singing is the main thing that keeps us all together and focused together, right? Like that's a great way to keep everybody focused because, like the guy was saying, like you could have your mind talking to you. Like I don't really say spirits, but I mean like just your own mind can sometimes play around with you, and and then you're like talking to yourself and looking there, and the better you can be at staying grounded, and well, grounded is another word people use a lot, but the better you can be at like being aware of these things, but also knowing how important it is to pay attention, be focused, and know that you're gonna have to go back to the matrix, the Illuminati set up world after this to face the same challenges that you did before you entered the circle. So your life that you had before you entered the circle will not change after you leave the circle. You're going right back in that same life. But then, with that, like they say, with that awareness you have, which is ultimately like an illuminated awareness from a plant, which is pretty special and intense. But a plant isn't gonna help you later. That same plant isn't gonna help you later on in your own. It's not gonna be there. Like you could go smoke some marijuana or whatever. That plant may help you a bit, but you know how it is with marijuana, and that's really the the thing is the matrix is like this Illuminati setup because I guess the power is in the wrong hands, and we're trying to take it back. You know what I mean? Because we're the ones that also have that ancestral knowledge. So it's been taken away from us, and that's clearly being seen that our ancestry is just not like is not in this life anymore. It's crazy because like all of humanity is having this experience. A lot of humanity is having an experience, and yeah. So I'm not sure if you could hear my mother. She's talking in the background, but yeah, yeah. So the ancestry, like even our bodies, like like do we really feel our bodies? That's another good question. Like it's easy to just walk down the street because we have legs. Like I mean, we can still walk down the street. We can still get in our car and do stuff. Really, how much of our body are we feeling? Like we all know it's a mystery to us in the first place, our bodies, and it's supposed to be a mysterious thing. It's like since God created our bodies or whatever, like something created it, it's going to be a mystery to us. 'Cause nobody knows how to create a body. They know how to clone them. So yeah, just if you're in a circle, like Forrest was saying, um, all the power to you. But also, it's a lot of work, a lot of work because you're up against a whole world, like a global and agendas and the internet, like it's big. So let's keep working on ourselves and I really you know
Mm-hmm.
I really thank you, Brandon, for opening up this platform for me to talk
I thank
and
you
it
too, man.
yeah, it's a good time to
Word,
be
man.
alive. All right.
Cool. Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, again, like circles. When we're doing these circle discussions, like even the ones here, the feedback that I get from like doing the paradigm shift meetups that we do in London, they kind of like the circles discussions, depending on the circles and everything, because again, kind of as Jesse was saying, there's different degrees of intensities, there's different like formats for different circles depending on whether it's like a medicine ceremony, a drumming circle, a discussion circle, a meditation circle, like a radical honesty circle. There's like different types. When we have the ones that are just like open discussion and everything, even depending on the discussion that takes place, because sometimes the discussion can be different depending on the day, depending on what people bring to it. But when people leave, the general feedback that I receive is the idea that it just like helps kind of recalibrate them for the work still ahead. It's like almost as if this matrix, this society has a tendency to kind of like try to suck the spirituality out of us. And so we get kind of like caught up in kind of the routines and everything. And then we kind of forget about our spiritual self. And then so when we come out to these meetings again, it's kind of like oh yeah, like I remember, like this is kind of, there's another story here, there's another layer to what's happening here. And then it just kind of helps people recalibrate, it kind of helps people remember, and it gives people that inspiration that will allow them to go back into Babylon, back into the Matrix with a little bit more of like their oomph, or a little bit more of their mojo, a little bit more of their self-awareness. So in that sense, like that's why community is really important. We need that support. Like sometimes there's just like certain parts to this reality that can be very, very drudging on us. And so having these circles with the intention of healing and inspiration is a very valuable way to kind of like boost our energy levels again, so that we can go back, and then eventually we have to do it again and do it again. It's like taking care of a car. It's like cleaning it. It's like filling it up with gas. It's like watering a plant. Community gathering, social interaction is actually a very important part of nurturing our soul, nurturing our body. That's one thing that I remember realizing, is that there's a period where I was like really, kind of going through different stages of just experiencing emotions, and some of it was kind of sad and heavy. And then I got really used to being alone. And then I was like, okay, I'm really used to being alone right now, but there's still a part of me that's yearning for meaningful social interaction. So we have to acknowledge that those social interactions are actually just as important to our body as food, as sunshine, as air. So keep that in mind, is that we have to kind of cultivate those moments and those opportunities where we can absorb that, where we can have those meaningful social interactions that are going to feed our soul, that are going to fuel our soul. So again, that's why these meetups and things like that, they're so important, they're so valuable. So Cool. Okay. Again, thank you, Forrest. Thank you, Jesse. And we got Amanda back in here. And Amanda, if you wanted to share anything, just unmute your microphone and I'll pull your microphone up. And I know last time that you were in here, you were talking a bit about wanting to create some paradigm shift community events where you are. So Amanda, we'll just give you another second if you would like to unmute your microphone to share anything. And if not, that is totally cool. And she did. Okay, cool. So Amanda, let me just pull up the microphone here, and we will pass the talking stick over to you, and you can share a little bit about some paradigm shift community updates, or even just whatever's on your mind related to, you know, the purpose of creating meaningful community gatherings. So Amanda, I'm gonna pull up your microphone. You're up, and passing the talking stick over to you. And whenever you're ready, go right ahead. Welcome back.
Hey guys. Sorry, I had to go eat dinner.
All good.
Yeah, so this last week I haven't made huge achievements, but I felt pretty good about the fact that I made my own free hug sign today. And yeah, so I'm definitely planning on doing the free hugs day next week with my daughters. And I shared the event on a few different groups that I'm a part of, like Teal Swans, Teal Tribe, and I'm a member of a empath group. It's called Awaken Empaths. And I'm thinking actually about doing a local, like, Oregon empaths group, because I was noticing the other day that there's a lot of empaths in my area. And like maybe we could just like have our own little local group and like get together and talk about things, and that could help kind of launch me and be a platform to get me into more of the paradigm shift stuff. But yeah, I'm, you know, mostly focused on kind of helping people through social media right now. And that's something that is easy for me to do where I'm at right now. But like hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to like be more face to face with people and stuff like that. So that's kind of my goal. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Just like super excited about the free hugs day and getting going on that and getting going on some local groups here.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And again, you know, like there's no rush in being able to do this. You really go at the pace that is right for you. You know, nature doesn't rush. Like the tree grows the way the tree grows. So in that sense, like our intentions are growing, our visions are growing, and the important thing is that like that seed is there. So like Amanda, like I think it's awesome that you're continuing to just verbalize your intentions for doing that, because as you're doing that, you know, it's like bringing it into reality. It's watering that seed. And yeah, you know, I think even just what you said, choosing to take part in the free hugs event coming up with your daughters, that's beautiful. That's awesome. Make it a family event, like absolutely. And I look forward to hearing more about that as it goes. And yeah, again, you know, just keep in touch and let us know like how things are going. And I think what you're doing is great, and just continue to keep putting out that vibration, and you know, even start looking for like places that you might want to host your meeting. That might be something that you can start doing now if you're not already thinking about it. I assume you probably are. And yeah. Like, is there anything on your radar for like possible locations that you might be able to use, do you think?
Oh gosh. Well, like there's been some local coffee shops that have definitely like come up, and then there's also this wonderful place called The Space that I've actually been a major supporter of for many years. And like I was saying in the last broadcast, I used to be like really involved in bringing people together, and one of those ways was through doing like open mics and things like that.
Cool.
And so one of these places that I did that was called The Space, and yeah, it's like it's definitely like a great place for people to come together. It's usually all ages, I think, up until like 9 or 10 o'clock or something. And so I was thinking that's going to be like one of those places. I also went to school with the owner, so I'll probably talk to him, and he's also a like-minded individual. So
Awesome.
yeah, I look forward to getting sorry, that's
No
my
worries.
That's my 18-month-old. Yeah, so I also look forward to get back in touch with the owner and things like that, because we used to be friends and whatnot. So
Right on.
yeah, it'll be a great way for me to get back in tune with, you know, the local culture here as well.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that sounds wonderful. It sounds like you already got some good leads there. And again, you know, like with a lot of community spaces, like when you mention something like, hey, you know, like I'm just trying to create an open discussion circle or a meditation group or something like that, there, and you can just say, you know, like it's not like a profit thing, like you can accept donations for the space, or sometimes if people are arriving at like a cafe, then they can buy the food from the owners, and the owners are like more than happy to support that because it like brings customers in, and you just create like a symbiotic relationship, and you know, it serves both people, it serves the entire community. So yeah, I think again, you know, just for people out there as well, go out of your way to talk to owners of these spaces and just mention the idea, because I think in the majority of the cases they'll be very open to it, and they'll be looking for ways to be able to help support it, because obviously if they've created like a community space in the first place, they want community to use it, so you're helping bring community into that space for the exact reason why they made it. So cool. Amanda, that's awesome. Is there anything else you would like to share? Just any other messages of inspiration for the people out there who might be thinking about how they can, you know, help create community where they are? Just any words of inspiration to help them on their journey?
I mean, really, I guess the big message that keeps coming up for me today is have no fear. Like, for all the people around me, like I have a friend that's thinking about trying drag for the first time, and I'm like, have no fear. Like,
Yeah.
that's really just the thing that's really resonating for me right now, is just have no fear. I mean, start small. You don't have to like this broadcast right here. You don't have to have, you know, 20 people. You can have 5 people and it can be something very meaningful. And so I'm liking the idea of start small and have no fear and just go for it, really, you know?
Totally.
There's
Yeah.
nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and not even like have no fear, but just like conquer it, you know, like you acknowledge that fear as like an opportunity to grow through, because again, you know, if wherever there's fear, like that's like, you know, just like courage waiting to be beckoned. So it's just like, oh, there's something I'm afraid of. Oh, that means there's a chance for me to step into more courage. Yay. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because it's all learning experiences anyway.
Totally.
It's like you say, which I totally love, is how you always say it's just practice. It's just practice.
It's all just practice.
Like everything is all just practice.
This entire life. It's just practice.
Yeah. So totally, yeah. I'm all about it.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, Amanda, thanks for kicking butt. Thanks for being a badass. I appreciate you being here. So
yeah, I'll be in touch. Thank you guys.
Cool.
Have a great night. Peace.
Awesome. All right, we'll speak soon. Much love. Sweet. All right, cool. I'm getting pumped up again, you know, just listening to you guys like is inspiring for me as well, because you know, and that's the idea, is that we want other people to hear these stories and be like, yes, like such and such is doing it, they're doing it, I can do it too. Aw, yeah. And then that's collective momentum that is created and cultivated through what it is that we're doing here as a team. Aw, yeah. Say it with me, guys. Aw, yeah. Cool. All right, go team. We got this. All right, let's move into the next thing on the itinerary, individual project updates. We'll see if we can kind of just go through this, not fast, but again, you know, I'm doing okay energy wise, but there will be a point where I'm going to be like, and I'm ready to go to sleep. So individual project updates, we'll get into that, and then so individual project updates would be like, you know, in particular, maybe there's a quest journal we're working on, maybe there's a video we're working on, maybe there's whatever you consider to be a project. Maybe there's an art piece that you're working on, maybe there's a book you're writing, maybe I mean, I guess it could be related to like personal projects, like, you know, like, oh, maybe I'm like, you know, like trying intermittent fasting or something like that. It's kind of open-ended in that sense, but we'll play around with it a little bit. So I'll just go first. Individual project updates on my end. Over the weekend, I was filming some footage of me doing Mystic Spider-Man free hugs at Sunfest, which I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. And I was beginning to edit together some of that. And I'm not exactly sure when that will be completed. I actually have footage from this year and last year. One of the things that's just kind of like a part of my reality is the fact that there's a lot of stuff that I filmed over the years that just never got completely edited. And so like I have like footage from like events from like years ago. Like I have free hugs footage from like years ago that I'm like, you know, like which ones do I want to edit? You know, which ones are just going to remain in the archives? What can I do to help like boost this? So working on that video is one thing. There's some other stuff I'm really working on, like kind of like bringing my Instagram back up to speed. I want to be able to help create more of a relationship with my Instagram audience. I feel that's like where there's a lot of potential. Facebook, I'm like continuously kind of like becoming more and more discouraged by. It's not in the sense that it's just like, you know, it's useless, but it's just like, oh, okay, we have to use it differently. So Facebook kind of like has its resources, but it's like it's just not really effective in the same way that Instagram allows me to like see posts on a regular basis, or allows people to see my posts on a regular basis in that sense. And so working on building my Instagram is one thing that I'm doing. I'm actually, this is cool. This is for everyone. This could have been earlier in the broadcast, but I'll mention it now because it's not fully completed yet. I'm actually working on creating like a merchandise store for Paradigm Shift Central, like conscious swag to be able to make available for you guys, and this will be a way to support the project as well, and we'll be like running promotions on this, and this will be like things like t-shirts, such as the free hug shirts, the open your heart shirts with like the sacred geometry on them. Those have been really popular in the past, and I want to make those available again so that people can wear those, because they're not just like for swag, but they're actual tools. They're actual like, you know, like items within your quest. They're quest items. And also other items that are available through this website that we're going to be using. I'll post about it once it's ready, but you can get things like notebooks and even like banners, like flags, or like laptop cases or iPhone cases, even mugs and stuff. So like if anybody wants like a, like, again, I'm going to be doing some designing, but we'll be able to create some like funny paradigm shift mugs. Yeah, and again, you know, just like, I don't know, putting some weird taglines on stuff, just like keeping it shifty as you like sip your tea or something like that. Well, I gotta sit with it. If anybody has any suggestions on like weird things they want to see made into items, please feel free to let me know. I'll consider it. So again, that's something that I'm doing, creating the merchandise store for Paradigm Shift, because that's going to help create, again, not only revenue, but it's going to be able to provide you guys with additional awesome things that you can get with, you know, get incorporated into your journey. So get shifted, Forrest says. Yeah, totally. Other stuff that I'm working on, I mean, there's always a lot of things I'm working on. There's a lot of back-end stuff that I'm working on with the Paradigm Shift website and everything still. Doing the Paradigm Shift Central News, I still want to be able to do that. Coordinating for the for the Free Hugs Day event, more of that. Still got to work on my video for the Solstice Festival, the Om Solstice Festival. That's something that I kind of had to put on hold, but I want to be able to get back into doing that. That was the festival that I was at back in June that I've been to every year. And again, similar thing. I'm actually editing a video together that is compiled of 4 years of footage. So without trying to make it into a full-length documentary. Speaking of full-length documentaries, I still have the Journey to Lucidity movies that I still have to finish. Again, you know, this is just where things just kind of pile up over the years. That's one thing that's weird, like, as I've noticed, like, this is kind of just like a side thought. Like, as I get older, it just means that like more and more stuff kind of like builds up over time. Like, it's this weird experience. Like back when I was like 22, it's like I was just starting, so there wasn't this pile of excess. But now as you get older, it's just like, my goodness, like there's so many projects that have piled up. So it's like, how can I pick and choose which ones I want to do to be able to finish and get them out there? What's priority in that sense? But completing the Journey to Lucidity movies is something that I still intend to complete, because by the time they get released, they'll be able to be like prequels to the Paradigm Shift Central project in a sense, but they're still really important. There's some important stuff to that, and that's like kind of like something that I want to be able to leave behind as part of my own legacy. So, and again, if you haven't checked the Journey to Lucidity movies, you can go to the website and check those out. That's really all I have for individual project updates. I want to be able to do some quest journals in the coming weeks. I want to be able to help create some that will be able to lead by example for others in the community. And again, I realize that like a big part of sometimes within this project is relative to the example that I'm setting. If I'm not creating quest journals, other people aren't creating quest journals in most cases. And that's not to say that's a negative thing, but with where we're at, I want to be able to help build momentum. So in order to help build momentum, I have to create that momentum by creating quest journals. And so that's what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast, where I want to be able to like help lead by example and showing you guys like what a quest journal can look like, and then inviting others to do the same. So I want to get into that habit. Again, it's just like I wish the weeks were longer. I wish there was like 2 or 3 more days in a week just to be able to work on more stuff. But nonetheless, we're making do. We're bending time where we can. And again, super grateful to be able to have this opportunity to be able to focus on creating this awesome work to be able to share with you guys. So yeah, and I'll have other videos that I'll be sharing in the future as well that I'll update you guys on. So lots of other stuff, again, still in the catalog. So all right, that's all I got to share. Who would like to hold the talking stick next on any individual project updates? And again, less is more at this point. Then we'll just move into the next item in the itinerary, and we'll get close to wrapping up the broadcast. So let's aim to keep it concise. And I'm saying that to myself as well. I realize sometimes I put in more words than I need to, but that's what happens sometimes. I'm starting to get tired. I can feel it. Oh no. Quick, let's get this done. Okay, go. All right, who wants to share any project updates that they got? Any like projects they're working on, even like community related projects? Forrest, if there's anything that you would like to share, anybody here unmute their microphone and I'll pass the talking stick over to you. Okay, cool. So passing the talking stick over to Forrest. 1 second, pulling up the levels. And Forrest, when you're ready, go right ahead and share with us a little bit of the visions that you're manifesting.
All right. Well, it's been a while that first of all, I always document my journeys. And I recommend everybody to do that, like in a journal of some sort. But what I have been moved to do is to, share my journeys. And so what I've been doing is posting them on YouTube. But so far I have 7 on YouTube. But I just had my 28th journey, so I'm trying to catch up on that, but at the same time I still keep having journeys, ceremonies, and so just trying to work with that, having like I'm trying to get it so that I could put 1 a week, so to speak. But yeah, with the social media, I kind of feel the same about Facebook, as Facebook has become more distracting than helpful. It's actually pretty hard to, once I sign in, to remember why I even signed in, because I'm just like bombarded with, all this stuff. And it's not all negative. I'm not saying that, but, it's distraction. And so I need to find a happy medium there and not get lost in Facebook land, and to actually go there, see what I can use, see what, for lack of a better word, what serves me, what benefits my loving vibration, and then log out, get out of there real quick. Don't get caught up in a discussion, because I could definitely fall into that trap, and before I know it, I'm having hours of discussions when I should be working on something else. Another project that I do, or I actually make shirts as well, for conscious creation. It's a Fearless brand. It's to spread the word of being fearless, to go and do it with no fear, and being fearless to speak the truth, your truth, being fearless to to actually go and sit in ceremony, being fearless to, you know, take that job offer, being fearless to talk to that family member that you haven't talked to in years, being fearless to connect with strangers, being fearless to hug strangers. You know what I'm talking about there. And so I've been trying to kick that off and just listening to spirit and how spirit works with me and my artistic talent or whatever kind of medium I use. Photoshop, so I'm a digital artist, and to just get the word out. Sometimes people don't understand language, but they understand art. So it's a different way of speaking to somebody. Someone might not be open to conversation, but they're open to that design they just saw, or that symbol they just saw. Like sacred geometry is so powerful with that, because they see that and it's like the flower of life especially just burns into the mind, and it's like it's there all day long, and you know, they just have to question where'd that come from, and you know, be launched beautiful rabbit hole. So yeah, so that's my goal as far as projects. Also, with my fire integration circle, try to get the word out more, get more people to come to that. And I've also been called to the native flute. So I need to put in the practice of that. I was gifted a native flute. It brings me joy to hear it. It's very soothing. I've even been asked to play it before ceremony before. So the universe is telling me that that's something I need to accept. That is a gift I need to accept. They don't come without work. And kind of as the gentleman was saying earlier, is that it definitely takes work. You know, you definitely need to learn how to swim. And but once you do, it's a very beautiful thing. And to also, you know, kind of like a swim instructor, when you're helping other people that don't know how to swim and you're teaching them how to swim, it's a very beautiful thing. It's even more joyful to help out than to participate at times, and it's a whole totally different way of healing. So that's about all I have on that topic per se.
Right. Well, just gotta pull up my mic. Thanks, man. Right on. That's awesome. And if you can post any links for any of again, your YouTube channel, your clothing line, please feel free to share those, because I'm pretty sure I've seen your YouTube channel, but I just want to be able to see it again. I'd be happy to check it out, man.
Sure.
Cool, man. What type of like what was your latest video about that you posted on YouTube?
So my latest video was it was about my my sixth journey with the medicine of ayahuasca, and how it was literally religion shattering. Like throughout all my journeys, you know, yes, you know, but with love, you know, and on my sixth journey, it was just like, this is this, this is this, and this is your choice. And it was like, so yeah, I'll post a link of that in the description. I guess I'll post it in both chats, but yeah, it was very powerful. It was a 3-day retreat, and the first day was a sweat lodge that was very, very powerful, very like, whoa, the elements are living. Like, I've always thought, yeah, the elements are living, but like, you know, yeah, trees live. It's like, no, they are animated. Like,
Yeah.
the air is actually animated. Like I remember just briefly, they opened up my first round of the Sweat Lodge. They opened up the door, and the air elemental like came in and gave me a hug and was like, "Good job, buddy." And it was like massaging my shoulders, like, you know, it was in my corner, you know, and you know, and all the other elementals too. And I talk about that in this link that I'll be posting. It's a 2-part because my 6th journey took 3 days. It's 2 parts, and I have to put in my my 3rd part, which was the medicine of Sapito, and that was out of this world, an out of this world journey. It really blew open my chakras, and I realized I'm a healer, and I can heal others. And really, I just needed to accept the gift. Like, the gift's been with me my entire life. It's like I came here with the gift. I just need to accept it, just like all of us.
Word,
you
man,
know.
word.
So yeah, so I'll
That's
post
beautiful.
those in the chat.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. And you know, again, like, I would I would invite and encourage, if you feel called to create like a quest journal that contains like a few of those videos. So instead of doing like one quest journal for one video, you kind of create like a collective quest journal that like kind of covers like multiple videos embedded, if you want to do that, because that would be like a really cool package, not only to like have available on the website for people to discover synchronistically in the future, but also to be able to help share and link people back into your work and your story, because I think what you're sharing there is incredibly valuable. And again, you know, as a curator, I would love to be able to help more people find that. So
For sure. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
word, man. Yeah, and like also like having like a bit of like your write-up style within it, because I know you're very good at writing things out as well from your past quest journals. So that'd be pretty cool. Do you ever like, are some of your videos, are they ever during ceremony, or are they always like before and after?
Oh, always before and after. Yeah, it's
never
very
during.
important.
Yeah.
It's very important to not have any kind of electronic devices during ceremony. And I know there's, you know, you kind of get into the fringe side of things, but the for lack of better words, the spirits, they don't like the electronic devices too much. Even during meditation, I remember one time I was sitting with Salvia, and this was just at home, and it was just me and my sitter. And of course, I always have a sitter. I always recommend everybody have a sitter, if not a full ceremony. But yeah, so I was in the salvia realm, and I kept hearing this like buzzing noise, and I saw all these people rushing, and they were just rushing, like this energy of like rushing, like, you know how when you're at work and everybody's trying to get everything done, and it's just this get it done, and there's just rushing, and I'm like, just everybody slow down, and what had happened was I felt this like this bubble like come around me, like this whole shield of protection, and then like I could see the salvia plant. The spirit just kind of lifted this bubble up and rose me against above all the rushing, and I just saw all the people rushing by, and I was just kind of observing it, and I realized my fan to my computer was on, and that fan is constantly giving out the signal to rush. So that's just an example of how electronics can really mess with ceremony. Not only that, but when people think their phone is off, but they forgot that they actually had an alarm set, because they usually go to work that day or something, and then we get an alarm during a ceremony, and we've had alarms go off in ceremony. It's very distracting, very destructive when you're in an altered state of mind. I mean, imagine you're talking to what you may perceive as God or a deity of some sort, or a passed away loved one. The last thing you want to hear is your phone ringing, or something telling you that you have no more recording room, or you know, something like that. And for some weird, odd reason, this Matrix, you know, this reality here, it likes to mess with electronics. It's like the electronics is kind of like their realm, this realm here, and you know, without getting too far in the deep end, it's just the electronics. It's almost like they know when there's a ceremony going on. So yeah, so needless to say, all electronics are out of the room, far away on the other side of the, you know, back in the bags in a, you know, the other side of the village.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that. Yeah, like I think I mean, yeah, there's kind of more discussion that we could branch off to there, just all about ceremony and stuff like that. Cuz yeah, it's like when you're working with these plants, working with these teachers, it's like you're going to another place, and it's kind of weird because it's just like a place where like cameras like don't commonly go. It's not that it's impossible for them to go to, but like it's really meticulous as to like how to even document these experiences, because again, like so much of it is internal. I don't know if Ron, did you ever like, because again, you know, like I'm intentionally made the video a few years ago, a couple years ago, of like my 5 gram mushroom experience. And like I intentionally, like a part of my experience there was like having the camera with me, and I still like did it very much as ceremony, which worked for me, because then at that point it was kind of different, because I think it was my relationship with the camera that kind of shifted how it incorporated itself into the experience. Like if it was ayahuasca and stuff like that, like that would be different. I haven't worked with ayahuasca yet, but for me, when I was working with the mushrooms and I had my camera there, for me, my camera was like a portal for me to talk to like 1,000 people at once, kind of thing. So it wasn't so much that like, oh, this is an electronic device, but like this is like a tool of God that is allowing me to document and honor this moment through the miracle of technology, and to be able to allow me to communicate with like thousands of people simultaneously beyond space and time. And so for me, it was like I kind of like still saw the camera as nature, in a sense, because, you know, like we have nature created it in a sense. So I mean, like yeah, no, it's just interesting. I totally hear what you're saying, and I think it's just interesting that like I was able to find a way that it worked for me in a sense, though I wouldn't advise people to do it. It would take like yeah, it's definitely something you would like want to like think about and feel out and everything like that. But definitely the before and after, I think is a safe way to be able to approach it. But yeah, no, I was just thinking out loud there. But I don't know if you had anything else to say on that. But otherwise,
Right. Yeah. And I remember, at least in the video, I believe you're alone, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I was by myself. Yeah, which was a big part of it. Yeah, like having a camera and trying to like being around other people on psychedelics is like, yeah, that doesn't work very well. So
yeah, exactly. In my ceremonies, particularly, we have, you know, 50 plus people, and you know, everybody has to. That's the other thing is
consent. Yeah,
you got consent, and also you know, the respect of privacy. Like if there was a celebrity, or you know, someone who's really popular, you know, politician, you know, or whatever, that attended ceremony, they have the right to be there without anybody knowing it.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
and that's how we want to keep it. We're like, you know, you can be there, and like your closest family member doesn't need to know about it if you don't want that, you know. And that's why there's no advertisements, there's no pictures, there's, you know, there's nothing of that sort. But with your case, you know, that is your gift. You are a journalist, you know, so you have that agreement, and obviously, and you have been given that, you know, I think that you have that with the universe, that, you know, it was a total understanding that that was what was happening, and they knew that you weren't going to abuse that. But I have seen it abused by other people before.
Yeah, and again, I think with the ceremony as a whole, I think it has a lot to do with intention. And yeah, no, this is definitely. Looks like Jesse's got something to say. He's blinking his mic. I'm gonna bring him in a second. So,
Okay.
well, Jesse, I'm gonna bring you in. We're gonna just I want you to share a little bit about whatever you want to share in the moment, and then we're gonna segue it into the next item on the itinerary, because I know we're starting to get into like branching discussion here, which is
Right.
okay. It's all just practice and stuff like that. But I feel we're gonna get like sucked into a vortex where we're just gonna end up talking about this for another half hour. So okay, so and Ron, thank you again for sharing, and yeah, looking forward to checking out your YouTube. And what's your YouTube channel, just for people listening for audio, so they can look it up, or what would they look up on YouTube to find it?
I'm under Forest Advisor.
On YouTube. Okay, cool. Simple enough. Sweet. All right. Okay, Jesse, I'm gonna pull up your microphone in a second if you got something you would like to share. Jesse, go ahead.
Thank you. This is about individual projects.
Yes, we are still on that. So yeah, if you just want to get right into that, that's fine. Or if there was something you wanted to say relative to what we were talking about.
I have an individual project. It's not mere imagination. It'll just take a lot of steps to get to where I want to get with this. And I definitely have this. I already started off with baby steps here. And it would be a journey to get there. So this is literally my individual project right now. And I know of other people who are on the same path, and I'm not the first one to think of this. But exiting out of these circles that I'm a part of, and going back to the Matrix, or going back to just a big city, for example. I mean, I used to live in a stone house in the woods. Uh, anyways, so what I learned there is that I don't really have, like, I didn't living in a stone house in the wood. I didn't have an individual project really. I didn't really have something to um work off. That's why I failed actually. I ended up burning all my belongings and everything. Like literally, I set fire to this place. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But now burning that place down has kind of set me off on this new journey, an actual real project, like you're saying, an individual project. And since I live in Canada, just like we have this very like open, wild land to the north of us, and everybody here is settled towards the south, right? And it's kind of like, especially southern Ontario, this little like peninsula that we're on, because southern Ontario is basically a peninsula, a really big one that's surrounded by 3 lakes. Uh, we have good farming here and everything, but my individual project, which I'm pretty like clear about, this is what I need to do because I've had the shamanic experiences, and um, I've had the contact with plants, for example, but I don't have that contact with the earth. And one way I can do that, which is my individual project, is to basically hunt animals so I can drink their blood. I know that sounds crazy, but I think that's gonna really help me to get away from the matrix, eat my own food, because I've seen the way hippies do it with their vegetable gardens and fruit, and they don't really turn out well. But that's another difference. That's a part of my stone house story. But now that I'm in the city, I'm buying, like I talked on the broadcast before. I'm buying my like veal livers from the market, which taste amazing. Like this veal liver is kefir, like it tastes like kefir because it's milk fed. Like, can you believe that? Like anyways, um, it's actually already helping me a lot because I know now the intensity of the ceremony before I would go in, and like I said, I put myself in the deep end first, thinking like I could make it. But no, I mean, it takes a strong body, and not a lot of people who are in the Matrix, for example, are actually strong. We're all eating man-made stuff, right? So if I can help shift consciousness in that way, that would be great, because that would be a big one. Because to me, the biggest conspiracy is actually the food that we're eating. Like we can talk about, everything else, but you know, it's really the food that we're eating. And the other thing I noticed in ceremony is like the reason I don't use the word spirits anymore, as if there's some detached spirits floating around, is because it's all our human bodies. And I was talking about spirits on the first ever broadcast I went to, and my views on it have changed so much because my idea now is that everybody has a body, like a problem with their body, right? And we have to be really honest about this. And there's probably nerves I can't even feel in my body, but I go around not being aware of that. So what I'm trying to say is all these different problems with our bodies interacts with each other, right? And something like a natural like technology can also affect their body. So we're correct on that topic. It's just the thing is like someone else's mean thoughts can affect you. That's because their body is not exactly, you know, but nobody is in perfect health. So it's like who can blame who, right? So when we're in a circle together, it's like you can't expect that person from the other side to think loving about you 100% all the time, because that's being fake as well. Like nobody's actually like that, because we're all living such shitty ass lives, and I just want to be honest about that. Like from day one we're poisoned. From day one we don't even know who we are. We've been removed from nature completely. So to pretend that we can go into a ceremony and everything is like 100% love, that's false. Um, that's why we have to sing at our ceremonies. Nobody talks to each other and stuff, because there's basically the messages in the songs, and it's not even what the message songs really say. It's more the sound, the vibration of the sounds, because they can really create like a, a a high vibration, and and it's interesting. Anyways, um, that's my individual project right now, is to make sure that we can start getting real life energy. And people don't think a piece of meat is light, but you got to look at a piece of meat and see it as light, as pure light, because that's what it is. Like we demonize it, and it's all from horror movies and stuff, and those stupid like conspiracy cow stuff we see and stuff, because like obviously the Illuminati are fucking us in that way, in that regards too, by feeding our animals grains, antibiotics. So since day one, you know, you can easily look at it like your parents are kind of like the ones that are the Illuminati, and like you just become the Illuminati after them when you have kids, and it's just this constant cycle where it's like one generation just screwing the other. I know it's intense, but um there's still some culture left out there, but this is all a mystery. And like I said, this is a journey. I'm not saying I drink blood already, and I know in a lot of horror movies will make people think I'm crazy for saying that, but that's just Hollywood, you know, giving you that perspective on what is actually, you know, healthy for us. Because like I said, it's since day one, and we've been watching horror movies since day one, and our kids these days are like totally controlled by parents. A kid doesn't have any right to think for itself, really. Like, if you like, it's not the parents' fault exactly. The parents are being, you know, really brainwashed by TV. So all these dots can be connected. I'm not blaming anyone. There's literally, like, we can start connecting these dots to make proof of this. I know it's an uncomfortable place for most people to go, but that's my individual journey. Like, going into the deep end of these ceremonies, this is how I came out. Knowing that I'm weak. I'm I wouldn't survive in nature, let's just say that. Even though I go to ceremonies and the nature plants act very nice to me, and it is like a high vibration because of our work there, and there is love in the universe for sure, but the amount of unintelligence, the amount of stupidity does not make up for that. So um so to me, nature is the journey. Like, that's the only journey there is is um is nature. And even if you're sitting in front of your computer and being lazy, you're still on that journey and you're feeling it. And nature's telling you to, like, get away from your computer and stop being lazy because you need to go for a walk, right? So if we can just, like, tap into nature anymore, and I know if anybody takes a glass full of blood, boom, right away they'll be like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, that'll connect them back to source, for example. People talk about that with fruit, but I believe it more with true light food, which is, the product of an animal, which is okay to eat. No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing, Jesse. I think with stuff that you're saying there, I think it's interesting just to hear you talking about it and just to be able to listen. And I think, even for people who are tuned into this, who are also listening, I would just encourage those people to, like, listen to their own reaction to themselves hearing what you're saying, and just being able to kind of, like, pick up on any triggers that are taking place within them, because I think, like, some of what you're saying can be very triggering, because it is, like, very different. And I'm not really in a place where I'm gonna be, like, kind of, like, feeling like I'm, like, trying to, like, debate or anything like that, but I do encourage people to have their own perspective on things, and I think it's valid that multiple people are exploring different avenues of how to find what works for them within this reality. But at the same time, like, I think, like, if we can find like the medium within acts of compassion, I think, like, that is, like, what's really valuable. So it's like being able to at times understand that, yes, there is a time and a place to, like, eat meat if that's a choice that we make, but how can we do that in a way that's still going to be, like, respectful? How can we do that in a way that's still going to, like, have compassion for the animal, compassion for ourselves, compassion for nature? Because I think it's, like, when we start getting into this place of kind of, like, hierarchy, where we sort of feel like we have the right to take the life away from an animal, then it can get very polarizing and very it get kind of, like, it creates, like, a juxtaposition in terms of, like, our thought process, and it's just like, it's just like, what is right, what is wrong, what is moral, what is unjust. But I think Forrest actually wanted to reply, so we're gonna kind of, like, segue here, and because I'm just curious, I want to know what Forrest has to say. It just we'll kind of turn this into a little bit of open discussion, while at the same time, like, moving forward on our itinerary, and we can link back into this in a minute. But again, like, the whole, like, the power of drinking blood thing, again, or I'll just say, like, real quick, even for myself, I'm like, okay, like, that's different. At the same time, like, I'm sure cultures throughout history have probably, like, had their own thoughts on that, whether it's something I would do or not. I don't know for sure. But at the same time, I would say that, like, we here at Paradigm Shift are not like, like encouraging people to do something just because they hear it on this broadcast, and the individual opinions of one do not reflect the entire individual of the community. So, I don't want people to think that, like, it'd be like, oh, like, Paradigm Shift is encouraging people to go out and drink animal blood. It's just like, hold on, guys, like, hold on. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the idea of it, because, like, is there actually something, like, where does that come from? Yeah. Okay, so
one inspirational quote.
Go for it, Jesse, and then we'll pass it over to Forrest. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Every man and woman has an Aboriginal heart. So like a Native American, I'll use the word Aboriginal heart, and that's that's what we're kind of. And I could even relate to the Aboriginal Indians in Canada in a way. I'm not sure. I don't know. But like I said, like maybe I can't even feel my heart. It's a funny thing, but just a quote I heard. Everybody has a Aboriginal heart.
Yeah. No, I definitely hear that. Yeah, and okay, so we'll pass over to Forrest, and again, like, because again, I'm just kind of like taking my mind throughout history, and I'm just like, okay, let's say that, like, there was an animal that was like hunted in a humane way, if there is such a thing, and yeah, I'm just thinking in cultures, like, surely there have been cultures where they would like have this idea, again, because like I guess I've seen it in movies, I don't know where I've seen it, but it's just like the idea of like drinking blood. Is there something incredibly sacred to that? Like, because like, again, it's like literally like the essence of a being or something like that. I don't know, but guys. I'm just kind of exploring these ideas along with you too.
You can't do it and then go eat McDonald's, or you can't do it and then go eat some Horton afterwards, right?
Yeah, it's not like a processed. It's a very like right to the source type idea.
You'd have to live off the land while doing it, and be totally in nature, like. You basically would leave society because you wouldn't fit in anymore, and probably everybody around you would annoy the hell out of you.
Yeah. Likewise, yeah. Okay. All right. Forrest, I'm gonna pass over to you. I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are. And again, this isn't. We're just creating the intention here. We're not debating each other. We're here to respect each other, to practice having discussion, and to practice sharing insights, wisdoms, and perspectives, and to like if we can shift our own individual paradigms in doing so, then yeah, let's do that. Again, like I can understand why some cultures would drink blood. That doesn't mean I'm going to choose to do it myself, but I'm curious as to learning a little bit more about, like where's the idea of that coming from. So Forrest, I'm just going to pull up your microphone and just kind of hear a little bit what you would like to add to this discussion related to some of the things that we're talking about. So Forrest, when you're ready for us, go right ahead. Your mic's up. Go right ahead, dude.
Yeah. This is actually very interesting because this past Saturday, Spirit of Ayahuasca showed me. She spoke to me about this particular subject. So this is very interesting. So what was happening was, synchronicity, and what was happening was I wasn't getting any visuals, and I wasn't having the, quote unquote journey per se, and I was like, why am I not having, visuals? Do I need to drink more? Do I need to take more? Do I need to, what do I need to take to, get these amazing visuals and, travel into hyperspace and have this wonderful, amazing outer body experience and, or just any visions at all, inner body, outer body, what have you, right? And then she asked me, well, what are you willing to do to have this amazing journey? And then she showed me how when people work with the plants, what will happen eventually is that the journeys do slow down or they don't happen at all anymore. And that's because that's not the purpose of having ceremony. The purpose is not to go out our body. The purpose is not to have visions. And so then I was shown people who reject that idea of ceremony not, of the journey not being the purpose of ceremony. And instead they go into other things. Like, for example, they start doing drugs, dangerous acts of violence to themselves. Like, I forget the name of it, but like you're hurting yourself. And that has been known as a shamanic practice. You go through pain, such harm, you put such harm to yourself, and you go through so much pain that you eventually get bliss. And it's called an ordeal shamanism. And I don't recommend that at all, but that's what someone's willing to go through to have a journey. I mentioned drugs. People, they're willing to take drugs in order to have that journey. I saw people, and this is all, visions that I was shown. I saw people that were going into darker forms of shamanism, like voodoo, for example, the left path of the occult, sorcery, where you're calling upon demons and making pacts. And I was like, absolutely not. There's no way that I would do that to have a journey. And she was telling me, it's about the path. And if you truly are a person of love, then you will love even if you are not shown another vision. But it's the path. See, when monks meditate, they don't meditate because they're going to go on this, outer body experience and travel through the cosmos. If that happens, that's wonderful, and it is a wonderful gift, but it's not the purpose. The purpose is to become a better person. And so I saw that when these, yes, it is very humbling. And when I saw that, then she showed me that when these people are on these dark paths, they open themselves up to be to trickster spirits, and trickster spirits start telling them, oh, I'm actually a deity, and I'm actually one of the gods, one of the creators, and it's okay to do this. We've done this for many years, and the fact is that you're actually in an actual matrix, and nothing matters. So there's no purpose of having compassion, because people aren't really real anyway. And I saw a man that was harming his friends and his loved ones because he thought he was doing them a favor by taking them out of this matrix quickly, rather than for us to go through life suffering in this matrix. And I was shown how this was the lie. This is the lie that is told to those who choose this dark path, the left path. And I was just shown how important it is to stay on the right path, the path of love, the path of patience. If you're not seeing any visuals, be patient with yourself. The purpose of ceremony is not to see visuals. We're not taking drugs. We're not tripping out. That is a stereotype, that you're going to trip out and see all these amazing things. Maybe in the beginning, but that's because, she's trying to get your attention. But after a while, the learning starts to happen. And so that's what that reminded me of when, the gentleman brought up drinking blood. Also, blood is sacred. Every benevolent entity will understand that blood is sacred. And on a physical level, it's filled with toxins. And every animal that is, sacrificed is filled with fear. And because of that, their blood is filled with toxins. And when a person ingests that, they're bringing toxins into their body. And there may be a trip that happens because of that. There may be a hallucination that happens because of that. But it's toxins that are brought into the body, including very harmful parasites. So, that's all I had to say about that. I say it in love. I just want everybody to be safe in whatever you do. This is not about, it's not a debate such as, eating meat or slaughtering animals. I'm not trying to go there. I just want everyone to be safe in all realms, in this realm and the spiritual realm. And just, keep the love and keep the compassion above all. Keep your love and keep compassion no matter what you do. If something's tearing down your compassion, it's not healthy.
And so do you feel that, like, if you're, like, drinking blood of an animal, do you feel that can be done in a compassionate way? Or do you feel that's, like, a path? Like, I don't know. Any other thoughts on... Is there a time and a place to drink animal blood? Or, like, do you know of, like, even, like, the place of it in history or anything like that?
Well, like, for example, voodoo, they'll eat the pufferfish toxin, which is very dangerous. People have died from that. In the African shamanism, which actually the African form of voodoo, voodoo actually originated from Africa. And there actually is chicken sacrifices. And they do eat the chicken afterwards, but it's so filled with fear because, they have to, sacrifice this chicken or this goat in a ceremonial fashion, which is just filling this thing with so much fear. And then when you partake that blood, for example, you're feeling, or the person who's drinking it is filling their body with that fear. And so in a way, you're drinking death, or you're eating death. And those who look into the fringe of things, you understand that with these the cabal, for example, those who have left the left path, Chris Everard is a good person to look up. He goes into it, and he talks about how they drank blood to gain their power. And I believe that we shouldn't be doing anything to gain power. We don't consume plants to gain power. We don't sit in ceremony to gain power. Power is not something that we should be wanting. We should not be desiring that. But that's just my 2 cents.
Well, thank you for sharing, dude. Let me just check in to see if Jesse had anything that he wanted to reply, since this discussion began with him. And then from there, we'll just segue a bit, and we'll get pretty close to wrapping up, guys. I'm getting a little bit tired, and that's totally cool. We've definitely accomplished a lot in this broadcast. So
yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Forrest. Jesse, I'm just going to open up your mic, see if there's anything that you just want to close off this conversation with, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So Jesse, go ahead. Your microphone's open.
That was a valid argument. What I would want to say to that is that I am not currently doing that. I am not currently drinking it, blood. I don't really know. I'm not using it to gain power. So can't imagine how you can find anything wrong or evil about it, being that you've never tried it before, and you're just speaking, you're basically putting your own fear on the subject of seeing a chicken, have its head cut off. Like a lot of kids, for example, don't have that fear. They love to see that. And there's even videos I can post up where you have these Sami kids around the reindeer, and they're so interested. And in that culture, they still drink the reindeer's blood, and they open it up and drink it up. And Inuits. So it's just us, us Western people who, you know, are privileged enough to do these ceremonies. Just we don't understand. Like a plant can teach us so much, but it's not gonna. It's not gonna. Well, it can, it taught me a lot, and like he was saying, shamans still have this knowledge of what one can do with their body and get away with it. But they don't like to. They're not gonna go and save the rest of humanity. With them, some of them are very selfish, and a lot of the ones that are loving, you know, it's difficult in this world. So it was a good argument he brought up, that some people consider this evil or dark, but I'm trying to get away from religion, because even if you're atheist or Christian or Muslim, everybody is religious, whether they want to be or not. Like religion isn't even a choice. You're born into this world religious, and you kind of have to, like, get back to nature to remove all those things and just try surviving in nature on just plants. That's all I gotta say. And then we could see, who is the really the mentally ill one, when it comes to that. So, nature is the truth. That's all I gotta say. And any beliefs or any legends of people doing this and that and gaining power with this, I really don't care about, because that's another way to just scare us from ever doing these things ourselves, and just being our little good vegans, for example. Because I was a vegan, I gotta say, and I was vegan in the ceremonies, and because I was living in a stone house in the woods in the winter, I almost died. Literally, I almost died. So whoever tricked me into believing in starch and sugar, they're the real evil ones, because they try to kill me, basically. With we can live for a long time if we start eating animal products. That's all I gotta say. And mix it with other good herbs and stuff. But
fair enough.
Yeah, there's no fear with this. It just, all of us can start gaining power. Like you said, there is power to it if you start consuming this way. There is a lot of power to it, and I want all of us to have this power. Like, I'm definitely not a selfish person. And the other thing is, when I was at ceremony, I saw these parents, and they brought their kid. They always, they probably allow their kid to come. So this isn't the first time their kid has been there. And I found it so funny looking at this kid. She was a young girl. She was so cute and sweet, but their parents were feeding her carrots and celery and stuff. And from an occult point of view, seeing this kid look like a rabbit, to the occult, that is hilarious. This is the stuff they love to laugh at. Like, you may not understand that, but from a magician's point of view, and to me, veganism is totally a magic spell put on humanity. That's a whole nother thing I could. But yeah, they find that shit hilarious. And the other thing is, water may not be as great as we think for us. And me seeing this guy sipping his water out of his sippy cup, that was funny too. Like, he had this little bottle with this little thing coming out of it, and he was just sipping on his water, thinking water is some great thing for you, but it's really not that great. But yeah.
Word, man. Well, I hate to cut you off, and the reason why I'm doing so is because we're actually gonna have to wrap up this broadcast pretty soon. I have some information that I can't really disclose, and because of that I have to like actually wrap up this broadcast sooner than planned, basically just saying that I have some like stuff that I have to take care of, but I don't want to bother you guys with what that is. But nonetheless, what we'll do, we'll kind of skip a couple things. We're gonna skip the dream recall, we're gonna skip the poetry sharing. We've already done a fair bit of open discussion, so we're just gonna get right into closing intentions and gratitude, and then do a very short meditation and then outro, because I have to be like out the door of my house in the next few minutes because I have to go take care of some things. But I really appreciate everyone being a part of this broadcast, and again, just kind of like recapping with everything that we've talked about. Again, you know, just like reminder for the World Free Hugs Day event coming up, reminding you guys to document that if you can, contribute to being able to help create a montage of that video. So again, you know, even doing like a live broadcast of you doing it might be an option. Just be sure to check with consent with people before and after you're filming, before or after. Sometimes if you like get a picture of someone doing free hugs in the moment, just be sure to go up and after them afterwards and just be like, hey, is it okay if I post this on social media? Most of the times people will be okay with that, but again, if they say no, that's totally cool too. And yeah, again, just remind you guys to be able to, like, you know, plant those seeds, think about creating a paradigm shift community where you are. Thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this discussion and for sharing your perspectives and your opinions. Again, you know, like, let's keep practicing being open-minded, and you know, I think there's a lot of different opinions that came forth within this broadcast. I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but that's not the point, because the point is just being able to you know, listen and think for ourselves, and we're all going to have our different perspectives on that. So again, yeah, thank you for everyone for sharing your perspectives. And again, just a reminder that you can support the project through Patreon at patreon.com/Brendon Culliton by signing up as a monthly micro contributor. Through there, you get your shifter booster kit, which comes with your shift buttons, your exclusive Light Guardian crystal, your free hug signs, your crystal massage wand, and your crystal wire wrap as well. And the asking monthly donation for that is just $3 to $5. And again, just huge thank you to everyone who's already supporting for that. And anybody who signs up in the future. There are a lot of different ways to support this project. Simply sharing this broadcast, letting others know, and getting involved in future broadcasts, and even submitting your own quest journals is another great way to be able to contribute. So yeah, in terms of closing intentions and gratitude, again, thank you to everyone. As I've already said, my intentions are to yeah, to continue to really kick butt this month, to continue to do a lot of work that I've been continuously putting towards you know, really helping create momentum for the team, creating these spaces, creating the story, moving the story, moving the narrative further, and really yeah, just like enjoying life, and you know, deepening my own connection to myself and my heart, and making you know, creating meaningful connections with community. And yeah, thank you for being a part of that shared intention. So happy new moon and happy partial eclipse happening basically as it is. We're in sync with this broadcast, and I'll just pass the talking stick around real quick, so just like 1 minute each of just like any intentions and gratitude that you guys would like to express. So Amanda, if you have something you want to share too, you can just unmute your microphone and I'll see that, and I'll pass the talking stick over to one of you guys. But other than that, Jesse or Forrest, if one of you guys wants to unmute your microphone, I'll pass the talking stick over to you, and you guys can just close off the broadcast with me as well. So Amanda, I'll pull up your microphone, and Amanda, when you're ready, you can add in your closing intentions and gratitude. Go right ahead.
You guys give me energy and you keep me going, and I'm super stoked to be a part of this. Yeah, this next week is gonna be a lot of work, so I'm super stoked for Free Hugs Day. I'm excited for my daughters to participate in that, because something that they've never even thought to ever do. So it's going to be really cool, and I'll be sending you our video and pictures and stuff, and hopefully get other people involved in that. And so
awesome.
Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for them. That's going to be really fun for them to be a part of that. So I'm sure there will be some adorable moments that will come out of that. So yay. Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Go team. All right. Forrest or Jesse, if one of you wants to unmute your microphone, and we'll pass the talking stick over to you for any closing intentions and gratitude. Forrest, go right ahead, dude.
Well, I want to say goodnight to everybody, and I hope that you all have a pleasant week until next time. And I just want to encourage you to be brave and offer the hugs when you feel that it is the right time to do so, and offer the encouraging word when it's the right time to do so, and to just be patient with everybody, you know, and I'm talking to myself too. Be patient with everybody at work, with the family. And yeah, I just want to just spread the love, and because that's what we are. We are love, we are light. Get a lot of sun. Sun is sending us love every day. Mother Earth sending her love every day. Get in touch with nature. If you do anything, get in touch with nature.
Word, man, word. Sweet, awesome. Forrest, thank you again, man. Really love what you bring. And keep doing what you're doing, dude. Sweet. All right, Jesse, any last intentions and gratitude that you'd like to express? If you want to open up your microphone, and we'll pass the talking stick over to you. Go right ahead, dude.
Yeah, thanks for letting me rock people's worlds. I'm really trying to shake the foundation here. And you know, it's my foundation being shaken too. I know this is not going to be easy for me either to do this. Like I said, it's my individual project, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it, because I really want to rock your foundation. Because as spiritual as we think we are, to the ones who are actually enlightened, they laugh at us. They would laugh at this broadcast. They would laugh at each and every one of you. And I'm telling you the truth. They laugh at me too. But at least I can, you know, rock foundations and shake them up a bit. So it's scary. So, you know, they laugh at me, but they also kind of are, you know, I guess a little worried too. Anyways, I hope my journey's safe, and that, you know, I don't get
Cool. All right, well, Jesse, thank you
Sorry.
again. Oh, that's, yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, I just want. Yeah, I don't know if you caught the end. I just said that I don't get it. I don't get attacked by any aliens or vegans
Fair enough.
on my journey.
Cool.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, man. And Jesse, thank you for being an interesting mirror for those of us within the broadcast. Again, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with some of the things you're saying, and again, just being mindful that, you know, the intention here isn't necessarily to like really try to trigger each other, but to like share our perspectives in a way that's going to be like respectful and everything like that. And again, you know, like I just encourage people to think for themselves, and to be intelligent, and to do their research, and to make intelligent decisions. Again, you know, like just some of the things, if Jesse said some stuff here and you're just like, oh man, like that's like, I don't, you know, like that's like, because I know like a lot of people like might not come here to like listen to somebody talking about like why they should drink animal blood and things like that. So just be mindful of that, Jesse, that like, you know, like we're also trying to create discussion as well as content that the audience is going to find value in. So the audience isn't always going to want to come here to be like intentionally triggered about like some of the polarizing topic discussions, but I know there's a lot more that you also have to bring to the discussion than just the idea of some of the things that you were talking about related to like drinking animal blood and things like that. But nonetheless, dude, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate everyone being here, and I appreciate the idea that this is all just practice, and we all have something to learn from each other, and you know, just being able to observe those relationships that we share and how we even respond to the other things that other people share. And yeah, let's just keep moving forward with an open mind and with that collective intention to keep building the team with positivity, and again, with deep intentions and with deep love. So cool. All right, let's move into just a very short micro meditation again, because I gotta get out the door in a minute, guys. And yeah, we will wrap up this broadcast in the next moment. So just again, inviting you guys to close your eyes and just connect with your breath. And so in this moment here, just reminding ourselves that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Whatever that means to you, whatever this broadcast was for you, was exactly what it needed to be in order for us to keep on learning, in order for us to keep on growing, in order for us to see more parts of ourselves with compassion, with courage, with bravery, as we continue to learn, as we continue to be flexible, as we continue to expand in that sense. So just connecting with the breath here, deep inhales And gentle exhales. Again, gentle inhales. And gentle exhales. As you continue to breathe, just allowing that visualization to return, of feeling that white light at the center of your heart, and feeling that expand throughout your body, connecting to the idea that all of us, all across the world, are forming this grid, this network, this shared connection to continue to help uplift the consciousness of this planet. The intention of being able to help move people into more self-awareness, to more compassion, to more self-empowerment, so we continue to create space for future generations to come, so we can continue to create space for more people to find their own joy and to live their own bliss. So thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this, continuing to breathe. Just a couple more breaths here. Allowing this moment to integrate and embody any of the inspiration you have received from this broadcast. As you continue to move forward out from this moment, to continue to share your inspiration with this world, continue to share your gifts with this world, to continue to focus on loving yourself and in turn love others as well. So just take one more deep breath here. Exhale. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and turn your awareness to the space around you. Beautiful. Awesome. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this broadcast. And on behalf of the team, let's go out there. Let's kick some butt. Happy World Free Hugs Day. By the next broadcast, it will be past my birthday. So any early birthday wishes are greatly appreciated. And yeah, looking forward to continuing to do more amazing things with you guys together. So until next time, check out more at ParadigmShiftCentral.com. Create your profile online. Subscribe at Skull Babylon on YouTube and Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes for past broadcasts, but you can check them all out on the main website. And again, thank you so much to the Patreon supporters, and thank you so much to you, the listener, to whoever you are, wherever you are, for all that you do and all that you continue to do. So share this episode with your friends. Go out there, kick some butt, and as always, keep it shifty, and we will see you guys in the future. Much love. Ending transmission now. See you guys.